But stay with us.
You're watching a Jason Larea creative ROK Cup USA production.
Back here at Sportz Racing Complex in New Caney, Texas, and at a buzzer beater of a move, it was AX Capitan Garduno with a move over Alvaro Medeiros to get that move done and take the victory here in Heat 1 for the Micros.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great finish. Hopefully, not sure if the stream worked or not. We had a little bit of difficulty there, but if you missed it, you missed a heck of a finish. Yeah, it was fantastic. So, but I'm sure those kids will give us another battle, a second heat race.
No, we'll have bangers here throughout the whole weekend. I think we've put a pin on how good the racing has been between the Micros, but wherever you look here in ROK Cup Americas, there's going to be bangers.
Yep.
If you're just joining us, this is Sportz Racing Complex. Only about a 9-year-old track. Walk us through it here, Jason.
Yeah, so it's a 0.8-mile track with about a 750-foot straightaway where we're seeing the VLRs hitting about 70 mile an hour and the GP 125s are hitting upwards to almost 80. So very racy, very flowy track. As we just saw, lots of passing areas, which we kind of expected. So happy to be here. Alan Rudolph's done a great job. It's a super nice facility. I see Rock Island Room and stuff like that, where I grew up and raced all the time. It's kind of cool to see. And Alan raced there as well. So it's kind of see him playing some homage to all these places that I am very familiar with. So, but hey, like we said earlier, and you weren't on if we weren't going, this is it. There's a lot at line today at stake because this is stop 3 in Texas, not in Florida.
Right.
But we're gonna crown some champions here, and along with champions, what are they gonna get?
Well, if you win and you're powered by one of the VLR engines, you're getting a trip to Vegas. If you're in second, you're getting that trip as well, although it's entry only. You got to pay for consumables, tires, gas, stuff like that. All others, though, you're taking a trip to Italy at the end of the year for the ROK Super Final, the big event where we combine the best of the best from all of ROK Cup's championships internationally to see who is the best of the karters.
Yeah, and that's something to fight for, definitely. So, we've got the GP Juniors coming up now, so still a little bit of a tight race here between Medeiros and Sarah Bradley. Sarah was the winner of our Redford Formula 4 scholarship last year, so she got to go out and get fitted and get to drive that. And she was, we interviewed her in, I think, round 1, and she talked about her experience doing that. So, it's going to be good. We've got Edward Kennedy's a no-show this weekend. So he's definitely a factor. He was sitting here at 3rd. And then I think we have the EKN driver of the month, Alexander Vanchev, here as well. And then sitting there on our 5th points place is Nathan Dupuis, who I'm calling Iron Man. Like, I watch all the racing, and that guy has been everywhere. He's been on the West Coast. He just raced Daytona last weekend. He's here. He's probably going to be here next weekend. I'm sure he's going to be here next weekend for SCUSA. I mean, I think he's been in a go-kart every weekend for probably the last 10 weeks.
Dupuis, just a handful of one of those drivers that have made that trek over from the major event we saw last weekend in Daytona. Want to point out, though, about Sarah Bradley, we had this really great conversation earlier this morning of, what it's like for these kids to make that move over to F4, F3, any of the, beginner level cars, and they almost describe it as slow, making that transition over from these karts to some of the bigger ones.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, these karts are weapons. I mean, they are fast, they're nimble, the reactions are super quick, so you get in, like you said, bigger tracks, just reaction time's a little bit slower, but yeah. But as you can see here, 535 points up for grab.
Right.
So heat race win is 100. Pre-final is, I believe, 135, and then the final win is 300. So that gives you your 535 total. So there's quite a few people who have a chance here to finish up in a podium position or the top two to be able to at least get their ticket punched for Vegas.
Right.
Maybe
Right, and we're going to mention this all weekend long, especially today here, as 535 points is kind of our magic number. If you're still that number of points back from the champion, you're still realistically within, well, not realistically, mathematically, you've still got a shot of winning the championship, the FWL.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yep, as we get the carts lined up here, who do we get pole on this one?
We got Eli Steinberg, who I want to say isn't someone we've seen so far this series.
I'm not sure if Eli is running the first time in the GP Junior. He runs the VLR Junior.
Mm-hmm.
So that's him, and I'm just looking at past results. Yeah, so I think this is the first time that he's actually in this class, and hats off to him for getting into a new chassis and new engine package and putting it on pole.
A lot of news this weekend for ROK Cup. A lot of news for these drivers running for the first time here at Speed Sports Racing Park in New Caney, Texas. Heat one of the ROK GP Juniors underway here. Relatively clean side by side here through the first corner. One kart is off. A handful of karts are off actually through turn number 6 as it's a local yellow. But Steinberg still leads over Doan and Cole Medeiros.
Oh, absolutely. And that's a typical start that we've seen from this PSL Karting GP Junior class. So, again, PSL Karting is our sponsor for this race, and thank you guys. We appreciate all of that. Can't be done without you. Looks like we got another Orsilon kart up front. That's been a common theme so far. So we'll see if we can get a number on that as we cross the finish line. We should tell you real quick here.
You just watched on screen a couple seconds ago Christopher Tracy pass Felipe Benito as they're starting to reshuffle here. Alexander Vanchev winning the whole shot big time, getting himself up three positions from the start. He's gotten himself up to the bumper of Eli Steinberg. He's looking for a move up the inside. Move. Big wiggle there into turn number 6, and that opens the door to Eric Doan to join the party. Almost a 4-car freight train here.
Yeah, that's the defensive move that we see quite often with the older kids. But that was a fantastic move. Was that Vanchev that put that on him?
I believe so.
Yes, it was. In that RPG. Let's see if he can just kind of give himself a little gap over there on the second place kart. But looks like they're all, we've got a blanket covered about the top 6 karts right now. So see if they're going to be smart enough to work together and just kind of be able to put themselves a gap between 3, 4, and 5.
Cole Medeiros looking for a way around Eric Doan there as they started the new lap, got back in line. Vanchev still leading here, where we might see a move from Steinberg to the inside. Here's that inside defense once again. Good opportunity for the over-under here for that 227 of Steinberg. Still staying single file, though, now getting a little bit side by side, a little bit of a checkup there. Contact.
Well, we talked about, Jax, we talked about this today, and you were asking me, hey, what do you see a lot? And what's different is all these defensive moves that the leaders are making, and what it does, and I told you what happens, and it's happening right now, just bunches everybody together. So now we have a pretty big group of karts that anybody can get up there with one little incident and get to top 2, top 3, maybe even get to the lead.
Almost 2 by 2 here further back as we work our way through the kink, back past the stripe. Sarah Bradley getting past Cole Medeiros. Benito getting past Tristan Murphy, and a couple of more shuffles further back as Steinberg and Doan now side by side. Steinberg holding on over Doan, but now that 243 kart of Eric Doan, big on the move, almost 3 wide here.
That's Sarah
into
right
turn number 6. Big moves from Sarah Bradley getting her way up into 4th.
Yeah, and Sarah knows. She's only 80 points out from the lead right now, so it's between her and Cole, with Edward not being here, with Kennedy not being here. Really, those are the ones. Vanchev still has a chance too, but every spot that she's in front of Medeiros is just more points that she eats away on his lead.
And you're watching a lot of karts here get hot under the collar. They know they've got the pace, but they just don't have the place to put it, as we are 3 wide on the exit of turn 14 here, as it is a spicy battle for 4th here. Almost everybody reshuffling here outside of the top 2. but it is absolutely elbows out, and it's just the first heat, Jason.
Yeah, I know. And as you know, we're going to kind of keep an eye on that battle back there with third, fourth, and fifth, and a back, because it looks like Vanchev and Doan kind of playing the right game and just working with each other. So we'll see what happens here. We've got Medeiros is back in front of Bradley right now, so we'll see what happens. So, first and second, got a little battle right there. It looks like Doan got around Vanchev. Vanchev has not given that up easily, but had to going into turn one.
Used the switchback to get it done. Eric Doan, who started well outside the podium positions initially, has absolutely fought tooth and nail. There's a big dive from the inside for Vanchev.
High, but lost another spot right there to Medeiros. So Medeiros is all the way up to third, towing Sarah Bradley right behind him. We'll see if Vanchev has anything to say about that here in a second as they work their way down out of turn. What was that, 5 down the straightaway into turn 6. Mega defense moves right there.
Ooh. Oh. Big wiggle there from the 207. That's Cole Medeiros, who was up into second. He's going to drop big time here and give that lead back to Eric Doan. I think just went a little bit too far on the inside, Jason. Maybe got on the marbles and locked it up.
Probably some pushing going on as well.
Probably.
There's a lot of elbows up right there. But Sarah Bradley's running second right now. So let's see what Medeiros dropped down to. The 227 of Steinbrook is up to third currently, right behind Sarah. So we'll see how far back Medeiros did drop as we cross the line here, going into one. Yeah, Medeiros dropped back to fifth, so we'll see. Doan just went purple with a 53.01, so he's obviously got his cart just rolling right now.
There he is, setting sail over Vanchev.
Sportz chassis, yep, absolutely.
So Sarah Bradley has worked her way up into the podium position, but enter once again Eli Steinberg in that 227 cart, trying to find a way back into that podium spot. He's looking for real estate.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Vanchev as a player in this points race as well, so he's only 130-ish points behind Medeiros and just about 50 points behind Sarah Bradley.
If you were one of these guys behind the wheel right now, I mean, we're obviously seeing this level of aggression this early, and that might be a shocker to a lot of people, but we're seeing points. We're playing for points already, and this is already things that set the tone for the rest of the weekend. So would you be this level of aggressive and kind of risking position at this point in the weekend?
I think that they're not even thinking about that, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, they're racers, and they want the next position, no matter what they're doing. So, I don't think they're thinking that at all. I just don't, it's not like it's IndyCar where there's multi-millions of dollars.
Exactly.
Or F1 to where Constructors Championship means tens of millions of dollars, for your team. So, they just want to finish as high up as they can and not get past. But, boy, it looks like Doan has just built himself up a nice little gap right there at first. Let's see if Vanchev has anything to do. Yeah, 1.4 second lead. So our battle is definitely that battle right there with Bradley and Steinberg. Is Medeiros able to do anything?
Hasn't cracked so far. Sarah Bradley, as she has been confident on the brakes here in turn 6, hasn't really had to do much in order to defend on that main straightaway from Eli Steinberg.
Yeah, what's going on? Kind of just all settled in right now. So we're with a little less than 2 minutes plus the 2 laps. So they're running. So we're talking four, maybe 5 laps, depending on when they cross the line left. Lots of racing to go here, but this is the common theme. You see them get really aggressive at the beginning, then the carts kind of weed themselves out and thin themselves out, and then we'll start seeing some more defensive lines.
Right.
And then we'll watch them get punched back up at the end of the race.
The kind of natural ebbs and flows of racing. I asked you before we went on air proper how quickly we were expecting those kind of outside or non-regular racing lines to maybe rubber in. And I think it still hasn't, but we're already seeing some takers, and we've already seen some guys kind of take advantage of that and have the switchback work to their advantage.
Yeah, it definitely does. And when I walked the track earlier today, it was definitely a very racy track. Like what we're seeing is proving that. Lots of passing areas, like good switchback areas where, you can defend the inside, but you're going to give up the next corner. Are you going to be able to get off that corner you're defending well enough to be able to defend the next corner so you don't get passed?
If you're not in the karting world, the name Alan Rudolph might not be entirely familiar, but he is absolutely not a stranger to anyone who's been in this industry.
Not at all. Been around for years. Midwestern kid growing up street racing just like I did, so he's done a great job. I was down in his garage, and he was coaching one of the kids and going over their data that they pulled. It was interesting to hear him and what he was doing. Basically telling the kid he was just going in too hot in the corners and losing too much exit speed. It's just fun to watch, driver coaching and the young kids just sitting there and absorb it and how they change and translate that when they go onto the track.
The Illinois boy has given us this beautiful kart to race on for the final round of the Florida Winter Series. Just a stone toss from Houston, Texas. White flag coming out here in just a few seconds. Excuse me. Timer goes to 0. We get 2 more laps to go. Yep. So Doan over Vanchev. Bradley still not out of the woods yet. Is Steinberg with a really good run here on the exit of the S's. Starting to get to the last call here in Heat 1 if you want a trip to the podium.
Yeah, it's we're getting there. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. And we're doing a little bit of different schedule today, so we're actually running 1.5 days today.
Right.
So we're running all the heats and then half of a heat race, and then tomorrow we're going to finish with the heat races in the morning and then go into the second heats and then the pre-finals. So interesting, a little bit different format for us today, but I think we all going to appreciate that because our Saturdays out here are usually really long, and that this is just going to help us get that a little bit earlier to get some rest for the amazing racing that we're going to see on final Sunday.
The minute you stop doing the Florida Winter Series in Florida, the rule book is thrown out the window and you can kind of do whatever you want here.
Pretty much, yeah.
Want to take this time really quickly to say hello to all 70-some of you in YouTube chat, whether you're watching from around the world or with us trackside. We're glad you're here with us as we are looking at the last lap here for Junior FWT Heat 1. Doan with a comfortable lead right now, but Steinberg may be looking for a Hail Mary over Sarah Bradley to get himself onto the podium spot here in Heat 1.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to end up doing that. He's just going to sit back. And, he definitely has a fast car. He put it P1 in qualifying, so he's done a great job. And he's new to these racers. Like, I don't know how much he's raced against Bradley and Vanchev and Doan, but, Vanchev and Bradley, they've been battling the whole entire tour, so they know each other's habits. They know each other how they race. I don't know if Steinberg understands that, but I'm sure he's probably raced these other drivers in some other series as well. But all right, there's the checkered flag. Doan with a comfortable almost 2-second lead over Vanchev, then Bradley, Steinberg, Medeiros, Murphy, Shermer, Katowski, Benito, and Landry round out your top 10. Well, had some excitement there at the beginning. And then kind of just fizzled out a little bit.
Shuffled out the way we kind of expected. Some mature driving here from these young guns. We're going to step away really quickly to pay the bills, but it's round 3 of the Florida Winter Series here on Rock Cup's YouTube.
You're watching a Jason Larea creative Rock Cup USA production.
27 years ago, Bill Wright began the Florida Winter Tour to break up the slow winter months for karters. And as the word spread, the tour grew. Importers, teams, manufacturers, and drivers alike all came to Florida to prepare for the upcoming season. One weekend became 2, and the fun became serious fun. Since then, the karting season has started with the Florida Winter Tour, where teams compete to establish dominance for the coming summer. Drivers from all over the world look to make their name and leave their mark on the national scene, much like Pato O'Ward, Enzo Fittipaldi, and others have done in Florida Winter Tours of the past. The original Florida Winter Tour. the series that made karting a year-round sport in North America and where tomorrow's superstar drivers are discovered. 27 years later, you can still go karting and have some serious fun. Are you ready to join the action?
ROK GP Pro FWT Heat 1 about to get underway here at Speed Sports Racing Complex. Here's your standings currently. Blake Nash with a comfortable-ish lead over Diego Ardiles. Caden McQueen maybe looking like an upset here, but definitely a battle here for the championship.
Well,
these guys
not really, because Diego and Caden are not here.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. So I think Blake's probably got this one in the bag. So what we call this is a victory race for him. So he's got his ticket punched to go to Italy.
Some Swiss cheese lineups here for a multitude of reasons here as we're in spring break season for the final round of the Florida Winter Tour. So looking good here for some. Couple of new faces as well. But Ryan Nordberg will lead us off.
And yeah, that's, this is Ryan's first appearance to the Florida Winter Tour.
Right.
Texas Winter Tour, but Ryan's no strange name to this. He's part of RPG's team. He's their driver coach, and won last week at fantastic race between him and I can't even think of it now at Daytona at the USPKS. So definitely coming off of that high, that victory out there. So coming out here and hopefully he can maybe give Blake somebody to run with. So we'll see how that works.
So first time we're on the VLR power plants. Again, if you're a winner here, you're punching your ticket to, or excuse me, no, we're on the FWTs. My bad.
Yeah, we're on the GP Pros here. So.
On the GP Pros. So again, VLR punches your ticket to Vegas for the national finals. All other power plants get you to Italy for the ROK Super Final.
Yeah, and this class is sponsored by Velocity Racing, so we want to thank Velocity for that. As we always say, they help us pay the bills.
Yes.
And by paying the bills, that allows us to be here, and that allows us to rent these tracks and pay for the wonderful staff that we have here, which I do feel like is one of the best staffs in the industry, as in our race officials and on-track officials. So looks like we're about ready to send them out. They're giving them the 1 minute signal, which means within 1 minute. So there we go. As you can see, Norberg taking the rest of the field out, leading them down. So they'll go back through and scrub their tires here for about half a lap, and then they'll start getting themselves lined up.
Ryan Nordberg leaving us out after that. It's Aiden and Greta, Blake Nash, Oliver Mark, Victor de Alenkar, Mingman Zhu, Madison Knox, and in eighth and last is Diego Ardiles. I want to mention, by the way, again, that kind of serpentine motion we're seeing as
Did
these
you say
guys.
Diego is here? Oh, Diego is here. Okay. He didn't qualify, so we'll see. He may not be here.
He may not be in here, but our timing is showing
that he is here, yeah. So that'll be interesting if Diego is here, because that definitely makes the championship a little tighter.
No, absolutely.
Where's Diego?
I'm seeing him not actually in here.
He's
so
okay,
Madison Knox.
I didn't think he was here this weekend. Okay.
Madison Knox will be rounding out the field for us here.
Yeah, not the deepest field we have, but I tell you what, it's going to be a great battle with those top 3 to 4 carts. Ryan Norberg never disappoints. So they're giving him one more to go. No, they're not. They're just lining them up there. We got that.
Still trying to check them up here. Again, new name up front, form of Ryan Norberg. What
new name
can
to
he
ROK.
do? New name to ROK, shall we say?
Not a new name.
No stranger to carts. New name to ROK Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. So I tell you what, though, our announcers booth up here is fantastic. Like,
we wish we could put you guys in here with us, because it's like an ATC tower up in here.
I think it's the Howden Tower is what they call it.
Yes.
So, Rob, I know you're probably not listening, but they named a tower after you.
Heat 1 for GP Pro underway. Bit of a wiggle there up from Norberg on the inside. That's going to let Blake Nash work his way on the inside. Almost arrowheaded that rest of the pack, and Norberg sets sail and gets into a comfy early lead here through the first S's.
Yeah, like he got shot out of a rocket. I don't know how he gapped that close, but that quick. But let's see what happens here. See if Blake can get settled in and end up kind of closing up on that back bumper, or to see if Ryan can do what Ryan does and just sets fast lap after fast lap.
Lunge to the inside there from Aiden Ingretta. Lost a lot of positions there on the start, trying to work his way back forward, but it's Norberg, Nash, to Alencar, Ingretta, and Mrak, your top 5 as we cross the stripe for the first time. Still a comfy lead for Norberg, but a handful of positions to Alencar up 2 there in the whole shot.
Yeah, so we'll see see if they're going to work together, and that's the only way I think they're going to catch. I mean, to be honest with you, Norberg is Nash and Alencar's got to work together and push each other to be able to get up there and catch him. Ryan is just that good.
I know you've seen him kart in a lot of different places and with a lot of different championships, so very exciting for me to get to see this young man drive for the first time. But, I mean, for a lot of these guys, it's a new track, and we've had guys here, as early as, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday learning this track. But how long from your experience does it take to learn someplace that's completely new?
Man, it's different because I would say maybe a couple sessions.
Really?
Yeah. Then you start dialing the kart in once you kind of get it figured out. I come from street racing to where every track's new.
Right.
So every time you go out, it's a new way to learn. So I feel like I adapt really well to new tracks and can get up to speed pretty quick. And all these guys they're professionals. I mean, really they are. That's what they do. They run go-karts and trying to work their way up through to some type of next level of racing and auto sports.
Aiden Ingretta working on Victor Day. Alencar still comfy lead here. Second and change for Ryan Norberg over Blake Nash as we get Ingretta right to the rear bumper now of De Alencar. Got that move done and advances the 315 up into third.
Yeah, let's see if he's got his kart set up. And you'll see as you go through the races, like some karts just have their tire pressure set up a little lower and they come in better at the end of the race. And then sometimes people have their tire pressure set up a little higher so they come in quicker. Sometimes that's what we see. We'll see some karts just take off really fast at the beginning of the race, and then they start losing it as the other karts who went out with lower pressures, their karts start coming in.
Are you ever going to change those pressures in a reactive kind of way? Say I have a bad qualifying session.
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, you'll see, I don't know if we'll see it this week, but you'll see during big races that if you are in the last chance qualifier or in the last heat of because you get 2 sets of tires.
Right.
So usually you wait until the main and you put your brand new set of tires on. So you're running the qualifying, your 2 heats, and your pre-final on the new set, and then you run the main on the new set. But sometimes you roll the dice and you put a brand new set on that pre-final to be able to make it into the final.
Right. I think we just watched a tear-off be thrown away from Ryan Norberg there. Now already a second and a half over Blake Nash and company. Comfortable running in that very, very pretty Technicolor sort of pink kart. Makes it very easy for us to see here in the box.
The Rollison Performance Group colors. Yeah, you can see those. You'll see those throughout the weekend. And Ryan's a huge proponent of that program with driver and coach development. So as you can tell, why wouldn't you want to learn?
Exactly. Another purple lap from him, 51.67. Now 2 seconds over Blake Nash. I always ask guys who used to drive this question because I do genuinely feel like I get a mixed bag of answers. But for you, what is a more fun way to kind of go about doing this? Staying up front, starting up front and staying there, or kind of need for speeding your way from the back of the pack?
I always like to start in the back. I wouldn't qualify sometimes because I wanted to start in the back. Right. Just because I wanted to have that dicing, that racing, that just that feeling of accomplishment of things. But there's also nothing wrong with starting up front either. Right. But, a lot of times I would just miss a qualifying on purpose to be able to start in the back of the pack. And just especially if there's nothing at line, nothing on the line for it, no championship, anything like that. So, I'm sure Blake I'm sure he's aware of what he wins. Right. And he's pretty aware that he's got it in the bag. So probably being a little bit more conservative, like we talked, if he's actually thinking about that. And again, these, next weekend is SCUSA. So SCUSA's first tour, I think it's Winter Nationals. And yeah, so most of these guys are going to be back there. So that's another thing you do. You kind of sit back and you learn their lines. You kind of see what they're doing for next weekend.
And I think there is something to be said, whether it's this virtual world or real world, working your way from the back to the front. There's no better way. If you've got raw pace on track, that's awesome. But you're not a racer unless you know how to get your way around someone else, right? Yeah. And I've known guys who are absolute aliens, whether it's a kart or a virtual car, shall we say. And they'll intentionally put themselves at the back of the field because they want to get that experience and work their way through the field and how to kind of coexist with other cars.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, that's what we're doing. It's part of racing, and you're going to get to the point to where you're going to need that experience.
Right.
If you're up front all the time, you don't get that experience of passing cars and how late you can break into corners, and you're just kind of just clicking off laps, just kind of like what Ryan's doing right here. And as broadcasters, this is boring for us.
Yes.
So we're talking about random things. So, so we'll see what's going on here. It's
I will take this time to, again, say thank you to all, where are we at, 73 of you in YouTube chat. Roll call would be great to check in where you're watching from, who you're rooting for. Always happy to have you in here. But no, it's the Ryan Norberg show right now. 3.5 seconds now over Blake Nash. That gap between him and Aiden and Greta closing slightly here as we've got 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, they're all pretty evenly spaced out right now. I don't really see any potential battles on the track. Just turning laps. Yeah, we've got 3 plus the 2 laps, so it's just kind of cranking along. It's very interesting. I mean, they're hitting close to 80 mile an hour, maybe even over 80 down that backstretch. I'm trying to see which way the wind's going right now, but it's what's interesting too is the shadowing on the backstretch where I was walking, because it's kind of on that tree line there. So I was like, is that going to be a concern? Because it was, as you can see right here in that shot right there, so some of the shadowing, and some people use weird like trees and shadows as braking zones. So where do I start hitting my braking zones at? But as you can see, the sun is constantly moving, and it's a beautiful day here in Houston. Cold morning.
Very cold morning.
Under 40. It was into 30s this morning, so we're seeing like a 40-degree swing
was
out
given
here.
false Texas advertising on our ways in.
Absolutely, and it's windy. I mean, it's very windy out here today. So is that playing a factor for some of these drivers? Possibly. I'm not 100% sure, but it's Texas, and I didn't know Texas to be windy.
Watching again here, the 3:15 of Aiden and Greta as Norberg once again puts in a steamer 51:55 now. As only battle we can really forecast for you right now is between Blake Nash and Aiden and Greta. Everybody else kind of running their own race right now.
Yeah, they are, and I'm just looking at the lap times here. Like, Ryan's almost a half a second faster than the rest of the field. You got to think, what are they going to do after they see what Ryan's put down?
Right.
They're going to go back to the tent, get with their engineers, and see what they got to do, like Blake and Grata and the Allen car. Like, what do we got to do?
Do you genuinely think there is some kind of setup or approach to this mechanically that could help close that gap? Or I don't want to use the term skill issue, but again, we've seen how well Ryan Norberg has composed himself as a driver.
Yeah, but as a driver, you never think another driver's better.
That's true.
Something to do with equipment. My cart's a little bound up. It's not free enough. So they're going to go back, and I mean, if I'm a half a second slower than the guy in front of me, I'm going to go back and start doing some, not necessarily wholesale changes to my chassis, but I'm going to look at my data. I'm going to see where maybe my cart's getting bound up in what corners. Am I overdriving a little bit? Like, just kind of pull that down, because I'm guessing Norberg was maybe sitting back a little bit in practice and not letting everybody know
not putting the cards down until here.
Yeah, and he maybe still isn't.
He's certainly testing the limits there. Kicked up the dust a little bit there
again,
through 14. What's that going to get him through the stripe? Not quite there, but did another 51.53. He's improved down to a 51.43. But definitely testing the limits right now with that 3:48.
And just consistency, too. I mean, that's when you know your cart's like in a good place, is when you can consistently run laps within a couple tenths of each other. So he's We got 3 laps to go here. As you said, not much to talk about. So anybody on the YouTube talking?
First of all, want to say hi to Klutz at DMB and Brian Crane from some of the leagues I commentate. Always good to see you guys out here in chat. Alfonso J. Santiago saying, let's go Orlson Racing, who absolutely flexed their muscle earlier on in the micros. Preston Fisher saying, hello, let's go Ryan and RPG. Gary Johnson watching from Wisconsin. Go Cam Johnson, Mini Swift 111, Hart, Sisters, and the dog.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know if Jason Bertzel is here with him. I'm sure he is. He's his engineer. So I know Jason, Midwest Illinois guy, a stud on his own realm and racing.
Yeah.
So he's but what a great guy as well. There we talked to him a little bit at round 2 in Orlando.
So we were talking about engineering and the mechanical approach to this earlier and changes you make. To be a fly on the wall of Ryan Norberg's garage after this and to see if there's going to be frustration. Is he going to be comfortable? Does he think maybe he could see some improvements for the 348? White flag is out. He's got one more lap to see what he's got.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah.
Nope. I would look at my data and I would just see if maybe there's some binding up somewhere.
Right.
And the cart maybe getting a little bound up in some corners, but other than that, I wouldn't touch it.
One of my favorite radio moments in racing, watching Alexander Rossi unlap himself at Phoenix, and then the engineer comes on the radio, any changes you want in the car, and there's maybe 5 seconds of silence, and then he just jumps on, no, man, just leave it as it is.
Yeah, just leave it. Absolutely. Yeah, there is something to be said when you have that chassis just dialed in just right. All right, last lap here as Ryan gets the checkered flag handedly with a 7-second lead. Yeah.
Had we have gotten maybe a few more laps here, Aiden and Greta was chipping away to Blake Nash, but those will stay as they are. Victor De Alencar comes home 5th, Oliver Mrak 5th, and Ming Manju coming home 6th, Madison Knox 7th. In a dominant opening heat here from Ryan Norberg, letting his name in ROK Cup be known instantly. We'll step away briefly, get him racked up for the next one. It's round 3 of the Florida Winter Series from Houston on the ROK Cup YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely.
Into the acceleration zone. Green flag flies. We are racing. Big slide farther back in the pack. Couple of micros going a little bit slideways, but they're going to hold it together. Pressure from Luca Besseril. Besseril looks outside for speed. Down into turn 4. Got it. This position going to go to the inside of turn 1. Got it. The lead of it. Whoa! Cross back, crossover.
I don't think battling each other is the way to go right here.
Oh, almost a little bit of a swiggle there for Trusho in that purple car. Here comes Del Bon to the line. Look at him, he's so excited.
Fire commentary there from DJ Clark, catching you up on what we've seen so far in the Florida Winter Series. I'd imagine he's not watching right now since he's at work right now in Thermal Club for round 2 of the NTT Data IndyCar Series, hence why you're getting me. I'm Jackson Lambros, joined, as always, alongside Jason Ewers, as we are getting set for the next round of opening heats here for the 2025 Florida Winter Championship. ROK Minis are starting to get gridded up here, Jason.
Yep, our Rock Mini sponsored by AM Engine. So as you can see up here, we can see our top 10. Again, another close battle between Francisco and Chandler with Cam Johnson sitting there in third. I mean, the top
Top
all the
5
way
or 6,
all the way
man.
down to 6, with Pavon finishing in 6th with that 535 points up for grabs. I mean, it can be anybody. So I don't think Santiago is not here this week. So that even makes it even tighter there for Salazar and those gentlemen there. So, it's the Rock Mini Tour. So this is a non-VLR engine. So they get to possibly punch their ticket to a trip to Italy for the winner right now. So, it's going to be interesting. I don't know. What do we have for qualifying on this one? Looks like last weekend, though, in Daytona, Francisco did get the win, and then Orioli, who's not here this week, actually ended up third down there. So we'll see. As they're taking off on the track, we'll get this going.
Nico Salazar leads us off here. After that, it's Cooper, Lorenzo Lopez, Kimo Ahmad, Alex Chandler, Cameron Johnson, Aston Wyatt, Jaden Francisco starting in 7th. Simon Jack Klein is 8th. Emilio Bolanos is 9th. Colton Scheingenberg is 10th. Asher Pavon is 11th. Luca Bercielli is 12th. Clayton Stiles, 13th. Brandon Eng is 14th. Mavil Dos Santos, 15th. Cristianos Damianidis is 16th, and Benton Hale 17th, rounding out the final row. Sebastian Demosiak 18th, and Nico Blakasoon is 19th.
Oh, absolutely. So Lorenzo Lopez is your pole sitter right now. So, and then we got Salazar, Ahmad, and Chandler with Wyatt rounding out your top 5. So again, Aston Wyatt is a new one to the Rock Cup. Wasn't at either one of the Florida stops. So good for them being there in that 5th place, making themselves known. So as we get lined up here early, which is good. But one of our bigger classes here this weekend. So
19 carts.
Yeah, so tell them a little bit different. So the Mini is
Mini is your amped up version of the micros, taking that restrictor off, more freedom when it comes to gearing. These are the fastest carts we're going to be running on these Rock Mini engines. But again, the older brother of the micros, drivers age 9 to 13, before you make your way up to the bigger carts, before you work your way to the VIR or to the VRs and the GP engines.
Yep, absolutely. So age group, did you tell the age group? What's the age
9 to
group?
13.
9 to 13, yep. So crazy that these 9-year-olds are hitting, 60-plus mile an hour and racing bumper to bumper. I mean, it's insane. So, all right, great start here as we go, and that's going to be
Still
Lopez
side by side
right
for the front.
there, taking it, looks like. Oh, we got a cart
I think it's
off
Salazar.
here.
Oh, yeah, one off early.
Yes. Oh,
It's the
132 of Simon
yeah.
Jack Klein.
Early trouble here, but we've already got a 3-car battle up front. This is the 138 of Nico Salazar, already under fire for the lead, as we've got an absolute 5-car freight train here further back. Watch that orange cart of Salazar, but a big dive bomb to the inside, and Lopez gets that position up to the front, but a great defense as Salazar takes that right back side by side across the stripe.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the sections that we're going to definitely see a lot of racing, which is going to be great because that leads us to the start-finish line. So, as they designed this track, I think they knew what they were doing. And as we've seen so far, that it's been some great racing and great passing. Oh, someone back up on a tire there. Not real happy with that, but hey, racing is rubbing, or rubbing is racing, I guess is how it is, as we walk it through. So
some non-verbals there from the 171. That's Ashton Wyatt, who got very expressive there, as that cart that we mentioned earlier has been abandoned. So I believe that is curtains there for Jack. But it is now Lorenzo Lopez over Salazar, Wyatt, Ahmed, Chandler, and Johnson rounding out your top 6.
yeah, coming into 13, looks like Lorenzo Lopez is a little bit, but just under that braking zone. These kids are so good on the brakes that you can have a 3 to 4 cart length and end of the braking zone, they're on your bumper.
Closes instantly. Yeah.
What a great run right there by Wyatt, going into 3, into 4 here. Such a quick section. Oh! Back on the back again.
gathered it back up, but ramped onto the back of Cooper Lorenzo Lopez.
Yeah, that was interesting because usually we don't see that very often with the bumpers that we have these days. So
that's reshuffled the back order. A little bit of a wiggle back there. That's Nico Salazar getting into it 2x2. Wyatt and Salazar here through the S's.
yeah, it looks like Lopez is getting a little bit of a gap there. So we're going to follow second and third for here a little bit here with Wyatt and Salazar with a close battle. We'll see if they're going to be a little defensive here. Looks like they're working with each other. As you can see, that bumper right there, a little damage done to that. So not sure if he's got a pushback bumper. If you're not familiar, there's a little mechanism on these bumpers that if you hit somebody too hard on the front, the bumper gets pushed back, and it's a 5-second penalty. So I'm not sure if that is an effect on that or if it's the nose is collapsed. So we will see at the end of the race how that works. I'm trying to see it. So
it's Chandler up front. He got himself there smoothly through the S's. He's tucking right now, trying to make that aerodynamic profile as small as possible as Salazar tries to work through Chandler there. Can't get it done. That'll open the door for the car in fourth. Jaden Francisco trying to work his way through now. Some really, really good stuff here with still 5 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, plenty of racing left. So it's see if what can they do. And like we said, it's amazing how fast they can switch positions.
Right.
You know, we were just talking about how Lopez had a pretty good lead. Next thing you know, Chandler is now in the lead. So
look at Beccarelli there in sixth, trying to work on Cameron Johnson. Couldn't get it done, but has been very, very confident outside of the normal groove. Starting to see a 3-car battle for third right now as Salazar tries to get back to the bumper of Alex Chandler. We're watching Cooper Lorenzo Lopez, Jaden Francisco, and Cameron Johnson right now down the back straightaway. You're going to see some guys pop out, try to make a move.
Yep, absolutely. See what happens here. No defensive move, just making some passes. Good, clean moves right there.
Looks like Johnson was able to clear it, but again, with that dive bomb, you're able to instantly make that switch back again through turn 7, turn 8, turn 9. So nothing is guaranteed in that braking zone.
No, and that seems to be the common theme that we're seeing going into, turn 6 right there is that. Like, they get the pass and then the cutback, you just lose it right back.
Lorenzo Lopez in third, battle right now further back for fifth. That's the 111 of Cameron Johnson. Trying to get to Jaden Francisco. Couldn't get it there, but advances up into fifth. Some good moves, as now we've got the battle for second and third. Alex Chandler, Jaden Francisco. Bumper to bumper here, working their way through turns 2 and 3. Setup here is paramount off of turn 5 to get a good pass, a good run down the main straightaway.
Yeah, absolutely. See if Chandler's going to go down here and make more of a blocking move or just stay in line and see what Salazar's going to do. They play nice with each other here, which is good to know. Pretty smart, because if not, Francisco would have been right there to just make that a 3-car breakaway.
Vital to not crack under pressure here. And these karts don't have mirrors, but I think if they did, or if they were required, you'd see guys covering it up as quickly as possible to just not let that pressure get to you.
Yeah, just under 4 minutes to go here. Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see if Chandler will get a penalty for that. It looks like it's okay, but never know.
It's relatively pushed in, but not so much. Definitely some contact there.
Yeah, definitely. Good run for Salazar out
of the S's.
15
yep,
and
into 4 and 5.
Yeah, into 4 and 5. Just a really good run. Getting out of 15 really well.
We were talking about this earlier off air, but the draft, despite how tiny these cars are, is absolutely paramount, especially when you're going, potentially up to 80 miles an hour in some of the bigger karts.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and we were talking with Gavin Bailiff at round 2, and we're talking about how these karts now with the new bodywork, they can get aero push, like to wind being taken off going to corner. So you'll see some in the bigger classes, faster classes, taking a different line because they need that air to push the front of the kart down. But all right, here we go. Looks like Francisco ended up closing that gap as we see Salazar make the move. Does it make it stick? No.
Chandler gets the over-under, holds on to that position. Jaden Francesco has absolutely entered the chat, gotten his way up into second. And now he's going for first, right on the bumper. He set the purple lap.
We got a cart off right here on 15.
But we've got a car off on the exit of turn 1, and it is heartbreak.
He's upset.
For Nico Backelson. It's the 133 Lost it on the brakes and backed into it. Local yellow there.
Hopefully he's okay. He
Looks to be okay.
hit the fence.
Looks to be okay right now,
Yep.
but further up front, Jaden Francisco still looking for a way around Alex Chandler. A little bit of a peek to the outside here going into turn 11. Trying to maximize that exit. Undercuts it, can't get it done.
Yeah, a little defensive move there by Chandler.
Now peeks to the inside, gets it done.
Wow, what a great run by Francisco going through that corner right there. Going to the start-finish line here with just under 2 to go.
So 60 seconds on the clock. New leader, Jaden Francisco. But Chandler and Salazar with a head full of steam looking to work their way back to the front. Single file here. Are we going to see anybody pop up to try and make a move? Still single file at the end of the straightaway. Feels like the first time in a while we've seen not even a dummy being sold there into turn 6.
Ah. Yeah, not much action right now. Looks like I'm just looking at the rest of the field. Everything seems to be pretty lined out, and everyone's kind of falling into place. But I'm sure that's going to not be true here in about the next lap or two.
Yep, setting it up. We've got another car off right now on the entrance. It's the 115 of Emilio Bolanos, who I believe that's mechanical issues, it looks like. He's going to climb out of that car, so that's our second retirement now. Nico Balkasun, by the way, did hop out, get back over the fence. It appears he's okay, but I'm sure they're going to have him checked out after what looked like a really, really rough ride there.
Yeah, I didn't even see that happen, so I don't know what happened there. I could see. Oh, yeah, he lost his rear, spun out. Thank you, producer Brandon. Oh, yeah, all right.
Our main man, Brandon Hackler, giving us the good intel here. 3 laps to go right now. Francisco, Chandler, Salazar. Francisco able to hold on that position. Chandler and Salazar, I think, in kind of a standoff right now, looking for a move.
Yeah, and I mean, I tell you right now, that's the way they're sitting right there, except for Cam Johnson not there. It's 1-2. That's our point. Francisco's leading the points right now, and Chandler too. So Chandler's not going to make up any room at all here, but winning the final is a completely different beast. So there's a lot more points to be there to win. So we'll see what happens, see if they can do anything. I mean, obviously the karts are pretty equal to each other. No one's really running away from each other. So,
and I know that at the end of the day, these guys are racers, and they want to win no matter what, right? But I still think, especially with the older drivers, there's that little extra sense of maturity and realizing we've still got plenty of racing to go for the rest of the week, and the last thing I want to do is total a kart 5 minutes in.
Oh, yeah. You don't ever want to do that, period. But, yeah, you're right. So we'll see where we're at here. 2 laps to go, 1 to go at the line as we come out of turn 15. Going to the stripes. White flag, 1 to go. Francisco definitely has his kart dialed in for the later session of this race. Seems to be gapping the rest of the guys a little bit more every lap.
Further back, though, it looks like Cameron Johnson looking for a move around Ashton. Wyatt goes side by side now. Wyatt still with the momentum. Yeah. Big shift to the inside. Can't get it done. Still side by side here.
Over, under right there, but leaves him on the inside again. Just such a nice section of the track right there for just racing. Like, just allows a lot of stuff that could happen.
It's so interesting because it's tight, it's technical, but it's just that perfect balance of challenging but open, allowing over-unders, allowing wheel-to-wheel racing, and that's the exact product we're looking for here between Ashton Wyatt and Cameron Johnson. Checkered flag flying here for Heat 1 for the ROK Minis. It's going to be Jaden Francisco at the line to bring us home for his first win of the weekend. Further back, Ashton Wyatt holds off Cameron Johnson. Then it's Luca Beccarelli, Kimo Ahmad, Ashraf Pavon, Clayton Seitz, Brandon Eng rounding out your top 10. Very, very solid race there, Jason. Obviously some big moments there from some cars we didn't want to see, but some very, very clean racing and some really, really respectful racing.
Oh, absolutely, and that's what we're looking at. So, what happened for Cameron there that she didn't need to see was Salazar finishing ahead of her.
Right.
So ahead of them, sorry, not her. Where are we at here?
Looking at our schedule here to see what's up next. VLR Masters, then VLR Juniors are up next on the schedule. We'll step away momentarily as it's Bill Pay o'clock here in Houston. It's Rock Cup here in Houston. Time for the old guys to go at it.
Hey.
Masters Heat 1 here at round 3 of the Florida Winter Series from Texas here at Speed Sports Motors Complex in Houston. Jackson Lambros, Jason Ewers, as it will be Brent Harper leading us off for the first heat of the weekend for the Masters. Here's a look at your standings.
Yeah, as you can see, it's pretty close. Paul Elefante is not here this weekend. Had some family obligations, so that kind of opens the gap up a little bit there for the 754 of Mark Pavon. But Scott Falcone is here, and Scott is much like Nathan Dupuis. He's the Iron Man of racing. That guy has been on the West Coast, East Coast, Central Indiana, or Central United States, running everything he can run. Mexico on a quick trip. So, I mean, the guy loves karting, and that's what I love to see here. So, he's not too far out. He's only 160 points out, a little less than 160 points out, with the 535 up for grabs. We'll see what happens, and I believe Pavon did out-qualify Scott. So we'll see what happens here. But Scott's a heck of a racer, and see if he has anything there for Pavon.
Brent Harper, also a newer name to Rock Cup, making his first start, and is off to a very, very solid running so far, getting the 713 up front. First time we're running the big parts here, so again, we'll run through the starting order. Brent Harper is first, Mark Pavon second, Adamar Calagaro is third, Scott Falcone fourth, Evan Kozak in fifth, Randy Rogers is sixth. Jason, I'd say watch out for Scott Falcone from fourth, trying to see what he can do. Is he still one of our championship contenders?
Oh, absolutely. I think he definitely is. And on that Orsolon cart, they know what they're doing. They've got plenty of carts in this event, so they definitely pull data from each other. So, we'll go with that.
Want to also thank Rocket Racing for sponsoring our Masters guys throughout the 2025 season, as we are getting set here to grid for Heat 1 for the VLR Masters.
Yeah, so this is where you get to the point to where if you are a chance to get that ticket punched as a champion, you play a little bit more methodical. You're like, okay, where are I going to be? I'm sure Scott knows where he needs to be with points and where Mark gets a win here. It's a win in the pre-final. That's going to probably pretty much put the final in the coffin on his chances. But hey, he can finish second and still get a trip to Vegas.
Absolutely. Still a lot in the running here between Mark Pavon and Scott Falcone. 6 cars in this running as we are getting set for the first heat for the Masters here in Houston. Front row, Pavon alongside Brent Harper. They're rolling, and we are still being told to slow down a little bit. Here we go, green flag for the Masters for the first time here in Houston. Good start to the inside, already 3 wide going into turn number 6, and it is already Brent Harper up front. Major stack up further back.
Yeah, Falcone got pushed out there. Did not get the best of starts, so we'll see what goes on if he can start making his way through the field there. But looks like, I'm assuming he's probably a hometown track guy.
Yeah.
Sitting there with Harper sitting there, so definitely knows this track. So checking out a little bit there. A little look on the inside. Did not make it stick.
LeBron, a big loser there in the whole shot as they come across the stripe for the first time. But it is Harper, Pavon, and others right now. Still a major front row breakaway here. And then everybody still up for position in this major, 4-car freight train further back. Big look to the inside there from Rogers. Gets that move done.
That was Falcone.
Oh, excuse me.
Just buying his time, got his car. Yeah, he got pushed out really high. Probably got some marbles on his tires. Took a couple corners to get those cleaned back off. Now he's got his car working again. See if he can start closing that gap between him and second.
Suboptimal for Mark Pavon here, who lost 3 positions at that start. As it is Brent Harper still comfortably in first, then it's Adamar Caligaro, Evan Kozak, and Scott Falcone just over Mark Pavon.
All right. Although we do have a wonderful view of the track here, we still do a lot of our broadcasting using monitors, so it makes it a little bit easier. So sometimes we have to wait for the timing and scoring to come up to be able to keep it updated and let you know where we're at. But looks like we have Harper, Caligaro, Falcone, Rogers, Pavon, and Kozak, and Falcone's liking this right now. So let's see if Pavon's going to be able to close in on Rogers and work his way up to Falcone.
Pavon trying to get back to work here, but he's already feeling the pressure from Evan Kozak in that 723. Randy Rogers, the best of that, winning the whole shot, working his way up to 4th after the start. So Harper over Caligaro, then Falcone and Randy Rogers.
It's like a battle there between Rogers and Falcone. It's pretty tight. Let's see if they, well, as I said that, Falcone's got it rolling right now. Let's see what his gap is on the next lap between him and Caligaro. It's just about half a second. Let's see if he can close in on that. But it looks like Harper's got this one pretty much in control as of right now.
You say that, but Scott Falcone just set the fastest lap, 56.35.
He just got that bad start. He got pushed out, and that just allowed Harper to just kind of get the gap that he needed. And just as long as he can run within a couple tenths of what laps Falcone has, he has nothing to worry about. But right there is that Pavon up on Rogers.
So yeah, 773 there.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked on that start from Pavon. He had a good qualifying run, so I didn't get a chance to see how he got shuffled back.
Lap number 3, Scott Falcone 56.39. Brent Harper 56.41. Fastest lap by there, though, was Adamar Caligaro. Don't think that's going to be a battle, though, for the lead, as it's 1.6 seconds separating them. But we're watching it heat up here as the 799 of Falcone gets to Caligaro.
Yeah, Caligaro must have had a bobble there because he closed up really quick because he was about a half a second behind. And then definitely made a quick catch-up right there going into turn 6.
A little bit of a peek to the inside, then backs out. We'll see if we can maybe get a look. Good momentum there and uses it to get through the kink. Makes it a done deal before the final hairpin turn 14. And it's up into second now for Scott Falcone.
Yeah, we'll see if he's got enough time. I mean, there's still 6 minutes to go, a little under 6 plus the 2. So we'll see what Scott can do if he has anything that he can get up there to challenge Harper for the lead.
Still absolutely lockstep in pace, though. Last time by it was another 56.35. Insane consistency from Scott Falcone. Brent Harper only 200ths off. They're doing a 56.37. So slowly but surely reeling that gap in, but the main question is it going to be enough with 5 minutes to go on the clock?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Harper's doing a good job of kind of matching laps of Falcone's. So unless he makes a bobble, I'm not sure what's going to happen there. But Falcone's not leaving Caligaro at all. So we'll see if Caligaro may pay him back here a little bit. So let's see what Harper is on the track. Going into 3, 4, going down the back stretch there. So all right, let's check our lap times here. That's not going to help when Harper goes purple.
Fastest lap now for Brent Harper. Where was that? 56.28 and a 56.74 from Scott Falcone. I think that was maybe from getting a little bit defensive from Ademar Caligaro.
Yeah.
But that gap is now starting to extend now 2.5 seconds. So Harper not only in the lead comfortably, but not feeling any pressure like Falcone.
No, and that cart's really kind of coming in exactly where you want it to come in, really at the mid to the latter half of the race. That's where you always want to be the fastest. So interesting, because I think that both are Orsilon team drivers. They look like, yes, they are. So it'll be interesting to see if they get back, if they're going to share any information with each other, or if it's going to be daggers.
I think, and you can. You know this better than anyone else, but I think the dynamic between teammates is very, very different between Masters and, say, the minis and the micros we were just running in terms of experience. I feel like it's much more of a shift from driver development to actual raw competition as you work your way into the seniors, into the Masters.
Yeah, and I mean, I was never a big fan of using somebody else's setup in my stuff because I drive differently than other people. And we had that discussion this morning on Formula One, the way that the two teammates drive completely different, and who knows how you work that out. But the way that that Harper has his cart set up is probably completely different than the way Falcone is as well. As you can see, Falcone's a little bit bigger upper body, so his cart's got to be set up just a little bit better.
Would you say that you could go maybe reverse engineering, figuring out what works for one driver to make it fast and how you could maybe pivot that towards yourself if you're struggling to find pace? Maybe not going directly over to his setup, but finding pieces, finding ingredients there that might work.
I'm a big proponent of looking at my data. Like, I need to see what my cart is doing. Data doesn't lie. That's a factual number. So what I do like to see is overlaying my curve with maybe Harper's curve and seeing, okay, where is he faster at on the track? Right. Is he braking sooner or is he braking later and then picking up his throttle sooner as he's rolling through a corner? Like, those are the things that are extremely helpful for me. Not necessarily knowing what axle he has in or what what he has for camber and caster in the front of his cart. Like, that doesn't mean anything to me because I know how I want my cart to feel. But what I need to know is, all right, why is he faster than me? Right.
Big puff of flame there from Brent Harper comfortably now with 2.8 seconds over. We were walking the paddock earlier on and he actually got to show me around, and despite it being, the very ground level of motorsports, these guys still have a Formula One level of data breakdown for nearly everything, whether it's setups, telemetry on the car, but throttle and brake tracing. The amount of detail in something this beginner still baffles me.
Yeah, I mean, but that all translates all the way through motorsports. Like, if you can teach the kids as they're younger what they're feeling and what they need to feel and how they can relate that to me so I can make the changes to the chassis, and by looking at their data is stuff that they're going to use all the way through their career in every different aspect technology in motorsports is completely different today than it was 30 years ago or 20 years ago, especially. And to me personally, it's not the chassis, it's not the engines, it's the telemetry. It's the technology that you have bolted to your dashboard, to your steering wheel. That to me is probably the biggest upgrade in the karting that I've seen in years.
It's so interesting because we spend so much of time looking at other sports, and as a Padres fan, I'm obligated to say, the things Tony Gwynn did with his video feedback and the level of research he did. And for the longest time, it was so hard for racing drivers to really get that finite level of data feedback and kind of the right ways to improve a lap time to maximize performance out of a car. And as you said, in the last decade and a half, it's just improved so much. And we've got guys that have become absolute data fiends.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not to that level, but I love looking at data. I love looking at overlapping curves and seeing it. It's even, I see a lot of people do it in sim racing.
Right.
Like a couple guys will be on a sim and they'll do it and they'll overlay their data off of the sim, and the stuff that you can pull from like iRacing is incredible.
Official Motec support for ACC. Some really cool stuff like that.
It's absolutely incredible, the data that you can pull from that. So as we're winding down here with 3 laps to go, not much to talk about. The field's pretty spread out. Looks like Harper's got this in control. As Pavon did make it around Rogers, so he's sitting in 4th right now. But that's good for Scott Falcone. That helps him eat into that lead a little bit there. So that'll take that down to just a smidge over 100. But looks like Scott is liking what he's seeing. So we'll see if he has anything for Harper, and maybe he did if he didn't get such a bad start. We'll see what Heat 2 has to do, and I believe this is kind of where we break off. Where this is Heat 2 tomorrow, because today we're going to do Heat 2s of Micro, Rock Junior, and Rock Pro Senior. So we'll see them tomorrow morning for their second heat, and see if Falcone makes any adjustments to his cart, or he was happy with it, and just say, hey, just chalk it up to a bad start.
Clean running for Scott Falcone. He was able to shake off Adamar Calagaro, but not sure if he maybe cut a little too much from the tires there or just got too distracted. He's gotten that gap just now back down to 2.5 seconds, but it's too little too late. And Brett Harper just needs one more clean one to win heat number 1 here in Houston.
Yeah, and it could have been like you asked me earlier, do you set your cart up differently based on kind of where you're at in the track? And Scott didn't get a great qualifying run. Probably went out with his tire pressures a little hot, a little higher to get that jump, to get the cart moving, get through the field so he could get up on the back of Harper as fast as he could. Maybe that's why he slowed down a little bit in the middle of the race and kind of cooled his tires back off, and now he's got him back up to where he needs to go, because he's definitely going. Looks like he's closing, but also Harper's. How hard do you push?
Exactly.
When you got a 2.5 second lead.
Clutching at straws here, won't be enough out of turn 14 and 15 for the final time. Welcome to Rock Cup. Brett Harper, he will take heat 1.
One more lap.
One more lap.
It sucks. But he will take heat 1. Minus there's not a mechanical failure. So we'll.
And I'm gonna blame the timing score right now because they're giving me the checkered here.
Yeah, it's that's not your fault.
All good. One more clean lap needed for Brett Harper. Still 2.5 seconds here from Scott Falcone.
A little bit of a victory lap here, I guess. But,
yeah.
We'll see what happens here. I don't know if the race is officially done or. I know, but
Marshals are telling us when to go here.
Finished here, but yeah, interesting.
Interesting, yeah. And I think there's a little bit of confusion here as Harper's actually lifted up just a little bit, not enough for Falcone to close the gap. Let's try that one more time. All the way out, and it will be Brett Harper getting his first Rock Cup win here in Houston. Scott Falcone second, Adamar Calagaro is third. And it looks like we've got a car off here actually in turn number 6. Looks like Evan Kozak potentially will keep posted. But a dominant win from Brent Harper and a dramatic potential start to flipping the script in the championship for Scott Falcone. Going to step away really quickly to pay the bills. It's the Florida Winter Tour here on ROK Cups YouTube.
Years ago, Bill Wright began the Florida Winter Tour to break up the slow winter months for karters, and as the word spread, the tour grew. Importers, teams, manufacturers, and drivers alike all came to Florida to prepare for the upcoming season. One weekend became two, and the fun became serious fun. Since then, the karting season has started with the Florida Winter Tour, where teams compete to establish dominance for the coming summer. Drivers from all over the world look to make their name and leave their mark on the national scene, much like Pato O'Ward, Enzo Fittipaldi, and others have done in Florida Winter Tours of the past. The original Florida Winter Tour, the series that made karting a year-round sport in North America and where tomorrow's superstar drivers are discovered. 27 years later, you can still go karting and have some serious fun. Are you ready to join the action?
You're watching a Jason Larea creative ROK Cup USA production.
VLR Juniors on track. This heat brought to you by Rollison Performance Group RPG. Here's your standings. Alexander Valchev in a relatively close battle, 200 gap between him and Theo Salomao. After that, Cole Medeiros in third. And a lot to play here. One of our biggest grids here at the Florida Winter Tour.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a lot to battle for here. I mean, obviously, Vanchev is driver of the month, thanks to EKN right there, but 200 and something point lead. Like, he's got to have some DNFs here to be able to have Salomao to be able to have a chance at getting that ticket to Vegas here.
Absolutely dominated the opening two rounds, as you can see on there. Won both pre-finals and the finals in round one and round two in Orlando. So going to need some big luck going his way. Just needs some consistency this weekend to bring it home. And he will be on his way to the Florida Winter Tour Championship. Starting to get checked up here as we have got a stacked grid of VLR cars trying to work their way to Las Vegas.
So good to see. All right, here we go. Lining themselves up. I believe, who put it on pole here? I'm just trying. It was a split qualifying session, so I know Nico Katowski was up there for a minute, but I don't see a Trinity karting group. But we'll see here shortly. But we have an RPG on pole of the 896 or 806 of Alex Vanchev, so he did set pole. Good clean getaway. Looks like no incidences at all. Little cart back in the back, a little slow, but Vanchev files in with the lead, pushing behind.
No drama in turn one, and it's the 806 that's going to lead us comfortably here down the straight through the kink. Are we going to see any opening moves? Big check up here in the mid-pack. This is for 10th. There's a little bit of a look to the outside. No moves though so far, as they're trying to work their way around the long way, but cannot get it done.
Yeah, so we'll see if Vanchev can just kind of keep the pace going here, and as they're going through 4 and 5 down that 750-foot back straightaway, see if he's going to be defensive here, or if he's going to keep in line. Look at that freight train happening right there. That's what we like to see. Surprising, no defensive moves right there, so everyone's kind of staying in line, playing good friends. So we're going to get the timing and scoring popped up here in a minute. That way we can give you an update of where we're at. But it's the 806 of Vanchev and the 899, I believe, is what I saw at the second place cart right there.
Exactly where Vanchev wants to be, but a little bit of fire there from that all-white car, the 899. As they're trying to work their way into second. Can't get it done though. 3-car battle for the lead. Good move here from Tristan Murphy as he just gives a little bit of a tap there to Alexander Vanchev. That gives the door to Ruben Gutierrez as he tries to work his way up into this top 2 battle as well. Couple of moves. Davis Henry lost 3 positions there, back all the way into 25th. Big look to the inside there. That's Marco Romero trying to get his way into 3rd. Can't get it done.
Yeah, and that's 899. It's Tristan Murphy, who's also a newbie to the Florida Winter Tour / Texas Winter Tour stop here. So a new name that Vanchev hasn't seen, but you know, Alexander's been pretty dominant through all these events. As you can tell, he's won round 1, 2, round 2, and we'll see if he can finish and make it a clean sweep through round 3.
Looking to get out the broom. Tristan Murphy, again, as you heard, we haven't really seen yet. So going to be interesting to see what he can do. Marco Romero, by the way, getting that move done on Ruben Gutierrez. So clean stuff. Top 10 right now. It's Vanchev, Murphy, Romero, Gutierrez, Obezo, Halfin, Valera, Katowski, Yao, and Dupoy. No moves here down the back straight. It's a 3-car battle right now. Vanchev, Murphy, and Romero all going at it for different spots.
Romero got around Murphy right there on that little switchback. So see if Murphy is going to have a little bit of a payback here, or if Romero's cart's just rolling and is going to be able to maybe give Vanchev a little battle for the lead.
A little bit of a run here from Murphy, but not going to give any momentum. Big dive to the inside. The 893 of Ruben Gutierrez, a nuclear move, gets himself up into 4th. He's right on the bumper now of Ruben Gutierrez. Might have another move trying to keep that momentum going. Can't get it done though. Can't get past Ruben.
No, but then Nico Katowski sat there with had the fastest lap of the race. Still does, the 54.4. Oh, little inside
for the
right
lead.
There with Romero, and got it over Vanchev. I think that kind of surprised Vanchev there. Wasn't expecting that to come in, but we'll see if Vanchev can battle back.
Gonna give Gutierrez a chance to strike. Murphy goes through, and in just a couple corners, our former leader Vanchev goes from 1st to 4th with more fire underway. He's going to try to fight back, though. Gets that move right back and passes Tristan Murphy.
Like we expected when we looked at this track, there's a lot of passings in it, so we're going to see this throughout the weekend. Lots of passing, a lot of late braking, a lot of switchbacks, which you know, makes it entertaining for the fans at home.
Great stuff if you're Marco Romero with everybody just throwing haymakers behind you. He's got about a 3.5 cart gap behind him. He's tucking his head down right now, trying to make that as big as humanly possible. No moves further back, but here's the move for 2nd as Vanchev with a big lunge gets by Ruben Gutierrez.
As Vanchev back up to 2nd, let's see if he can get up on the back of Romero here and make something happen. as they are coming into our turn 11.
Murphy with a lunge to the inside, gets that third position. Nick Obezo there further back in the 808, trying to work his way around as well. Little gesture there from the 893. Gutierrez being checked up here big time.
As they cross the stripe with just 5 minutes plus the 2 to go. So it's Romero, Vanchez, Murphy, Gutierrez, Orbezo, Varela, Salamau, Steinbrook, Halpin, and Paramo as your top 10. What happened to
Tristan Murphy backed up a little bit. Vanchev
fell back,
Dupuis fell back big time. One of the guys we were talking about as being a potential.
And where's Katowski at?
Calling him an underdog is an understatement. Katowski with 8 positions. We missed a little bit of a tangle up of a couple of cars not going fully off, but definitely gathering some dust here through turns 10 and 11. And I believe that both Katowski and Dupuis was involved in that.
Yeah, I don't even see where is Katowski at right now. So Dupuis is in 14th. Katowski sitting at 16th. Yeah, definitely, because they were top 5 karts there for a little bit. So something happened. I don't know how we missed that. But as we get going, looks like Vanchev is starting to chip away a little bit on Romero here as they're going down that 750-foot straightaway into turn 6. No move made there, but looks like those two are just gapping a little bit on Murphy. Let's see if Gutierrez has got anything from Murphy as we come within 3 minutes to go as they cross the line here in a few turns.
Starting to see some of those cars three-wheeling through here.
That's normal.
I know it's normal, but you get to the larger kart sizes and it's definitely more of a factor. And unlike when these guys make the move up to the car, normal Formula cars, body transfer and body weight is such a major factor when it comes to kart racing.
Well, it's because it's a fixed axle, so 3 wheels are faster than 4. So you want that inside wheel to always lift. How much, that depends on what the driver likes for feel. So, but it is pretty interesting to see, especially like a lot of people who are not around karting, like, why is that kart's going to flip?
Right.
Now, this kart's designed to do that, and that's the fastest way around the track. But, these Levante tires are so grippy, and they lay down so much rubber that we're going to see quite a bit of that as the weekend goes, as these drivers are going to have to start tuning their karts to kind of take away grip as the rubber starts getting laid down.
So with that, obviously, mechanical grip is all you got here, no wings to help you. And we've got guys that are very, very bold when it comes to making moves in the marbles. How much does that affect you in the kart when you're running in the marbles?
A lot. I mean, not just in that corner, but the 3 or 4 corners beyond that, because it takes a while because you're going to pick them up on your tires. So, tires get out of balance. Tires, you just don't have the grip when you have the marbles on it. So, wow. Romero is pushing it through turn 5 onto the straightaway. I think he's starting to feel Vanchev coming up, and looks like Murphy just got by Vanchev going into 6. See if those two can kind of work with each other to get up there and give Romero a little fight with just under 2 minutes to go.
Makes it a done deal and gets Murphy back up into 2nd. And that's kind of let Ruben Gutierrez get his way into this now 4-car battle for the lead. 90 seconds on the clock here, and it is Romero, Vanchev, Murphy, and Gutierrez all looking for a Heat 1 win here in Houston.
Oh, absolutely. And I'd say the winner here on anything is Alexander Vanchev, because the karts that were behind them that are part of the points championship possibilities are way back in the field. So, but Vanchev, I'm assuming he just wants to win. He's won everything. He wants to put another W up on the heat race in round 3 here, but looks like Murphy and Romero have something else in mind.
Romero drops back, gives that position to Murphy, but that's, again, these two tangling has let Vanchev close in here with 45 seconds on the clock. They've gotten a little bit of a gap here on Ruben Gutierrez. Are we going to see a swing back from Romero? We are! Look to the inside, and that's going to give Vanchev an opportunity to strike. Tries the over-under, but all 4 cars single file here, as we're going to have 3 laps of all-out racing to go here in the opening heat.
As we go through 14 into 15 to the stripes, that'll give us 3 to go, I believe. Yeah, should give
bumper
us
to bumper here. 3 cars, Romero, Murphy, and Vanchev Are we going to see anybody pop off here through turn 4 and turn 3? Nothing yet, but big opportunities coming. Instant dive to the inside from Romero. He wants to break that draft. Everybody's following him. Big pop to the inside from Tristan Murphy. Slides on the brakes and might drop 2 positions there as a result. Murphy to the front. It's now Romero in second, and Vanchev and Gutierrez go at it for 4th and 3rd.
Yeah, watch this. As they're battling, the cart to watch is that cart 5 with Nico Obrezo. Because those two are going to be, all the top 4 are going to be battling, and he's free out there.
Right.
Clean air, so he's going to end up catching those guys. So that's, before the end of the race, that's probably going to be a 5-cart breakaway.
A lot of points to grab up already, which is why we're seeing such aggression here in just the first actual race of the weekend. And all 4 of these guys going at it is opening the gap as there's a little bit of a lunge there from Romero, backs out of it. And again, all this is doing is letting Nico Obrezo get in and now make it a 5-car freight train for the battle. Only got a couple more times down the back straight. What are we going to see here?
Yeah, so we're going to see wow, big move by Romero right there on the outside. Didn't make it stick, lost 2 positions there. See if he can battle back. Oh, Vanchev got pushed off. Going to drop a position, maybe 2. Look who's right there, who I said.
Nico Obrezo.
Right there.
Gets his way through into 4th now, and a big loss there for Ruben Gutierrez. But Murphy, with some high commitment moves, gets his way back up into the lead. And now it's damage control for Ruben Gutierrez, trying to get to work here on Nico Obrezo. Can't get by here, as we will see the white flag. Can Tristan Murphy hold on to this lead?
Yeah, it's such a common thing to see. I'd say and Nico sitting back there at 5th was just probably drooling, knowing that they're battling. Like, I'm going to catch him, because it doesn't take much. You know, he isn't that much. He wasn't any slower than them. He just needed them to slow up to him, which they did. So, and you see what happened. He went from 5th. Now he's in 4th. Vanchev's back to 5th. But every point counts right now. So we'll see what happens here on this last lap if Romero has anything from Murphy at all. As we're going into, what is that, turn 11, I believe? Yes.
Goes wide, 11. Tries to plan it with a late apex to get the run. He's got it, looks to the inside, but gets blocked by Murphy. Very defensive, goes to the middle of the track, trying to make that cart as wide as possible. He'll have the low line, Romero will, but can't get it done. And Tristan Murphy has made an absolute statement in his ROK Cup debut. He wins Heat 1 in the Junior FWTs.
Yeah, it was a great race to watch. Good batting, good clean racing up front. So, yep, that was awesome. We'd love to see stuff like that.
Romero in 2nd, Ruben Gutierrez in 3rd, Nico Obrezo in 4th, and actually Lorenco Veleza actually took that position, and our championship leader has dropped back to 6th. So that championship fight still far from over here for the VLRs. We're going to step away really quickly as we got to pay the bills. It's ROK Cup on the ROK Cup's YouTube channel. Stay with us.
As they enter into the acceleration zone, green flag flies. We are racing. Big slide farther back in the pack. Couple of micros going a little bit slideways, but they're going to hold it together. Pressure from Luca Besseril. Besseril, look outside for speed. Now down into turn 4. He got it. This position going to go to the inside of turn 1. Got it. The lead of it. Whoa, cross back, crossover.
I don't think battling each other is the way to go right here.
Oh, almost a little bit of a swiggle there for Trusho in that purple car. Here comes Delbon to the line. Look at him. He's so excited.
All right, we're back for our ROK VLR senior class, sponsored by Nash Motorsports. Nash, thank you so much for your sponsorship. We definitely appreciate that. So let's take a look at the championship points here as we go into the start of this race. We got about a minute to go before they release him off to the grid. As you look here, Caden McQueen is a no-show this weekend. So Diego Ramos, Sebastian Garzon, and Hernandez with Caden McQueen out. That kind of gives Ramos a little bit of breathing room there as the champion. He did put it on pole with this race right here, followed by our newcomer, Marak. He is sitting at second. And then we have following in third would be Garzon and Hernandez in fourth. So good battle there between Garzon and Hernandez for that.
Yes.
Or even, go down to Gassioli for that second spot championship. But, only being 300 points is kind of a lot. 234 points, I guess, is what the lead that Ramos has here. So, we could see what happens, and there's a chance that that McQueen could still end up second and not even show up today.
Right.
So,
hey, we saw a lot of damage control from Alexander Vanchev in that last race. Actually gave that position, that fifth position, up to Lorenzo Valera. We can see the same thing from Diego Ramos here.
I just think it depends on the start. Him starting Vanchev did start pole that last race. And also, these seniors are crazy.
Yes.
They love to battle and they love to beat on each other. So we'll see what happens when we get through here. But I can guarantee you this, it's going to be another good burner like we just saw.
So if you thought that the senior VLR, or excuse me, the seniors were good, you're about to get another absolute banger coming your way here at Speed Sports Racing Park. First heat for the VLR seniors, fighting for a trip to Vegas in October. Race is on, and there is absolutely no time wasted from Diego Ramos. He leads Oliver Marak here into turn number 6.
Yeah, good clean start. Love to see that. Good jump there by Diego Ramos. And that Burrell Art chassis. Definitely Burrell Art has been a forefront to karting for the longest time and has some great support and plenty of karts out here, just like our OTK partners here.
Again, what baffles me and a lot of people who are newer to karting is
a little bit of an incident right there
yes.
in 14 into 15. I don't know the kart numbers there. Missed them. Can you get
It's the 919 and
that's DeLeo, and I don't know who else it is.
Yeah, Jordan DeLeo and Riham Alibaye, I believe, was the other one in that 949. Yes, it was. So they'll carry on here 17th and 18th. Looked like there was just maybe a little bit too much contact between both of them. They got it refired, though, and got it going. So Diego Ramos and Sebastian Garzon actually got the overtake there from Oliver Marak.
A good move right there. Set that up very nicely. Coming through turn 10. Had a great run. So made that pass going through 11. And we'll see what they do going into 13 and 14
Big
here.
lunge to the inside there.
Going through 15 down to those stripes. Yeah, so it looks like Ramos has got a pretty good lead here. Comfortable lead right now.
Yep.
So the battle seems to be here second, third, and fourth. 5th, 6th, 7th. I mean, that's a pretty good group of karts right there that can change at any point in time, which we just saw the race previous, how quick that group can get gathered.
Exactly.
So, okay, so we've got Marak, Hernandez, Garzon, and Gassioli with Angeli sitting there. Even Fernandez is a player in this one as well. So good battle there between 2nd to 7th as Ramos has this one pretty much in control as of right now.
Definitely a little bit more spread out than the last race we saw, but still 8 minutes of racing to go. Diego Ramos has set the pace strong early on, 59.09 on the opening lap as they work their way back to the stripe. What are we going to see this time by? Ramos 54.85, another fastest lap. Oliver Marak still pretty much lockstep there, 8.5 versus an 8.7, but it's actually Santiago Fernandez setting the new purple sector as he goes 54.73 that last lap.
Yeah, so they got some speed back there, so work together.
Exactly.
Might be able to close up on Ramos here in a couple laps.
Ramos still now almost a second over Oliver Marak, and I would expect this to become a little bit of a melee for second But then again, how much do you really want to battle for that position when you could maybe give a little bit of bumps, a little bit of teamwork to get yourself to the leader of Ramos?
Yeah, I mean, it's depends how they want to play.
Ramos, Merak, Hernandez, Garzon, Gassiat-Lee, Angeli, Fernandez, Aguilar, Fonseca, and Castle's your top 10. And that gap from Ramos to Merak has stayed about the way it has from the start, but a move there from Santiago Hernandez, I believe, or Fernandez worked his way back by Quinton Angeli for 6th.
Yeah, that battle in second is going to start heating up. Hernandez is getting a little antsy back there, I think.
Yeah.
I think his cart's maybe coming in a little bit faster than what Merak's is, and it's going to make the move. And then, at that point in time, you're like, I'm faster than you. I got to get around. If I don't get around you, that's going to allow Ramos to kind of start checking out a little bit more, which is you don't need Ramos to have any more space.
How important do you feel like patience is at this point of the weekend? Obviously, you've got the pace if you're Mauricio Hernandez. It's just you don't have a place to put it. But you know that once you get by him, you've got clean air. You've got maybe that opportunity to close that gap to Ramos by yourself. How important is it for you to kind of take your time, know when to pass, wait for the most efficient opportunity to get by?
Yeah, you don't want to sit and park it in the corner and get around just to get the pass. Twofold is one, that's going to allow Ramos to step out a little bit more, but second is it's going to allow the carts behind you to catch up to you. Right. So I think probably Hernandez is pretty comfortable sitting back here right now. It looks like Merak's cart possibly came in a little bit more. Maybe he just had a little bit of a bobble earlier that allowed Hernandez to get back on his back bumper. But not enough room right there, I don't think, for Hernandez to make any move right now on Merak. But, they're all sitting there trying to figure out what they need to do to close that gap to Ramos.
Halfway home here in the opening heat for VLR seniors here at the Florida Winter Tour. Still Diego Ramos with Oliver Merak. Merak is just chipping away barely to Diego Ramos, but just cannot get it done. But
yeah, it's going to make it difficult to get it done when Ramos just went purple that last lap. So, it's at this level, these guys are so talented, and they've got their carts so dialed in that if you don't really see a lot of mistakes happen. When we see these races get really close is when they get down and they defend and it's really tight. Right now, they're pretty spread out, so there's no reason to defend anybody. So they're just literally almost putting qualifying laps down.
How much data do you feel like these guys will be walking away from? I know you're never treating a points-paying race as something solely for testing, right? But how much of this is valuable for the rest of the weekend in terms of cart feedback, cart setup?
It always is, with the temperature of the day and everything that's going on, you kind of play that all into effect. But what you're really doing is you're watching your competitors. Right. You're seeing what their racing line is, what their all right, we're going to break the 5 here, but you're kind of seeing what their tendencies are, like where are they going into the corner at? Like if I'm racing them, where am I faster than they are at? So I know that's where I need to make a pass. Those kinds of things is what these guys are most likely thinking about. But here's our battle for 5th, which is Fernandez, Garzon, and Angeli.
I believe that's actually Gassiat-Lee there.
Oh, that's Gassiat-Lee, Fernandez, and Garzon.
Okay. 934 cart. As there's a little bit of a keep seeing Chase duck his head and everybody else kind of responding, obviously trying to make that aerodynamic hole as small as possible as these guys are punching 90-mile, almost 80-mile-an-hour holes into the wind here. And Santiago Fernandez has gotten right on the rear bumper of CGL. Nowhere to go quite yet, but has set it up perfectly here down the back straightaway. There's that tuck-in I was talking about last time. And a big lunge to the inside, a late lunge to the inside from Santiago Fernandez to get that move done.
Yeah, such a nice move. Didn't show it. Last second, stuck it out. Late break and got the pass. So that's going to allow him to get up there and see if he can close in.
What's the emotional reaction when you're on the receiving end of that, when you're kind of, when someone pulls the sneak move on you? Because there's always that reaction where if I'm on the defensive end, I could have been turning in and we could have made contact, but you're jamming it in there and you're risking both of us to go and do that.
My thought process is don't lose him.
Right.
Try to get back to them as fast as I can, and then just get my position back. But sometimes, there's a great pass right there. We haven't seen that
stuff, yeah.
We haven't seen a pass into 4 yet. That was the first one I think I've seen all day. So great little pass there. Was that Hernandez?
Mm-hmm. Looked like a little bit of a setup there from turn 3, going late on the apex there and kind of letting yourself arc in wide through that. Almost treating turn 4 and 5 as one corner there, arcing it around the apexes.
Yeah, it is almost like a sweeper over there when I walked it. It's a very fast corner leading onto a massive straightaway. So get these guys to get across the finish line here so we can give you an updated line up as Ramos just passed by the line of scrimmage. So we're going to 2 and 3, which we know the battle's there with, I believe that's Marak and Hernandez.
Yep, Mauricio Hernandez closing that gap now to Oliver Marak. This battle that has been going on all heat long, finally coming to a climax with 60 seconds on the clock. I think something else we really didn't talk about, before we went on was just how tough this first sector can be, both physically and mentally. Turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, almost like a Suzuka-esque scenario, back and forth. Very, very technical. Very, very rewarding, though, if you get it right.
Yeah, and, you're absolutely. And then, you've got that long straightaway into a deep braking zone. At least you get a little bit of a break down that straightaway coming through that technical section of the track right there. But, the track is probably one of the nicer layouts that I've seen on tracks, just because of passing zones and just technicality of the track. I don't. A lot of tracks I go visit, I just don't see those S-turns and those Suzuka type of corners. Everything seems to be more sharper radius corners that don't lead to great passing areas. And this track's very flowy, and I'm going to try to sneak out on a rental cart sometime in the next day or two to see get the feel for it.
I might need to have you teach me the ways of the cart. Some very quick nods there from Brandon Hacker, our producer.
We'll throw a couple GoPros on it. We'll be fine.
Please don't tempt me. 3 laps to go on the clock here. Ramos with a second over Oliver Marak. Mauricio Hernandez, though, within a third of a second on second place. Oliver Marak. These two are now. Hernandez in that pink and blue. Number 917, trying to get to that second spot on the podium.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really kind of got quiet. Little activity there at the beginning of the race. And everyone's, Ramos has had no challenges at all, so he's been comfortable out there in front. But, we had that 5-cart battle there for a little bit, and then now, Marak and Hernandez just kind of started to check out faster and faster every lap over Fernandez and Gassioli and Garzon. So, that makes for boring commentating for us. But those guys are probably pretty happy. But I think probably Hernandez is going to have a little something here for Marak with his 2 laps to go. See if we can get a run on him as they're going through 13 into 14. Little poke there into 15. Going down. Maybe just say, hey there, I'm here.
Letting him know where he's at here as these two will see the white flag. Only a handful of opportunities left for Mauricio Hernandez, but shot across the bow of Oliver Marak. Not as close to him as he maybe want here in the run into turn number 6. Both of them doing the nod. I'm curious how much that kind of quick nod down actually does for you.
It's a couple tenths, man. Like, it's
really,
like, I don't know if it's quite a couple tenths, but I mean, it's, even if it's a tenth, it's a tenth.
Right.
Getting it, especially like me, I like a little bit not skinny like these kids. Your Masters driver's a little bigger, so if you can tuck in underneath that front fairing and just kind of let the air go around you, it does have a pretty significant impact.
Eyes on Diego Ramos, who has put his kart exactly where he's had to all heat long. Checkered flag in sight for him. He'll take heat 1 for the VLR seniors here at Houston. Very, very solid drive from that young man. Marak just holds off Mauricio Hernandez. Woo! Sebastian Carzone with a move at the line there.
Nice. Yes, a little activity there at the end of the race. So, well, this finishes our first round of heats. Now we're going to do something different that we normally don't do with the Florida Winter Tour is going into second round on the first day.
Right.
So we are going into round 2 where you're going to see ROK Micro, ROK Junior, and ROK Pro Senior all coming out for their second heat.
So first round of heats done, but don't go anywhere. We've got 3 more for you here on the first day of running. It's the Florida Winter Tour from Sportz Racing Park in Houston. Stay with us.
27 years ago, Bill Wright began the Florida Winter Tour to break up the slow winter months for karters. And as the word spread, the tour grew. Importers, teams, manufacturers, and drivers alike all came to Florida to prepare for the upcoming season. One weekend became 2, and the fun became serious fun. Since then, the karting season has started with the Florida Winter Tour, where teams compete to establish dominance for the coming summer. Drivers from all over the world look to make their name and leave their mark on the national scene, much like Pato O'Ward, Enzo Fittipaldi, and others have done in Florida Winter Tours of the past. The original Florida Winter Tour, the series that made karting a year-round sport in North America and where tomorrow's superstar drivers are discovered. 27 years later, you can still go karting and have some serious fun. Are you ready to join the action?
You're watching a Jason Larea creative ROK Cup USA production.
As they enter into the acceleration zone, green flag flies. We are racing. Big slide farther back in the pack. Couple of micros going a little bit slideways, but they're going to hold it together. Pressure from Luca Besseril. Besseril, look outside for speed. Now down into turn 4. He got it. This position going to go to the inside of turn 1. Got it. The lead of it. Whoa, cross back, crossover.
I don't think battling each other is the way to go right here.
Oh, almost a little bit of a swiggle there for Trusho in that purple car. Here comes Delbon to the line. Look at him, he's so excited.
Back to the top of the order here as we now get into Heat 2 for the ROK Micros. 3 more heats to go here for Friday, our first day of the final round of the Florida Winter Tour in Texas. Jackson Lambros, Jason Ewers joining us again momentarily here as we get ready for the second heat for the ROK Micros. Position stays the same as they did, and qualifying heats are not progressive. So it's the exact same as we racked them at the start of the day as we got a dog. And it is important that we show you guys this.
It's a skip.
It's a skip.
All dogs' names are Skip.
In the mind of Jason Ewers, all dogs.
I'm going to get it right one of these days, and some guys are going to know, how do you know that's
it is
Skip?
I do think genuinely that you could narrow down the name of all dogs to maybe like a really big pie chart down to maybe like 10 or 20 names.
Could be, yeah.
Mom, Dad, I know you're watching right now. Roxy is not an original dog name.
Oh, your dog's name's Roxy?
Yeah.
After ROK. Named it after the ROK
There
Cup.
you go. Obviously.
Yeah, that's it.
Obviously.
Yes. Good slow start here, so
I think I will count our losses and say that you guys missed a banger of a finish at the start of this.
Yeah,
but
we didn't have. Yeah, that's right. We didn't have this.
I'm anticipating you guys got a good show,
Brandon,
on the way.
We're gonna blame that on YouTube. Yeah.
If anyone from the North American Sim Racing Series is watching, you know how real of a mistake that is. But the infamous go live button, as we call it. But we are none of us perfect people. And what matters is we're here now, and we've got an absolute banger of a race that these young drivers are about to put on. The age is small. The racing is massive. Heat 2 of the micros is underway. How clean are we going to have it here through turn number 6? 2 by 2, working through the first corner, relatively drama-free here. Couple of lunges, but everyone playing pretty safe here. One car further back cutting the course, and believe we might have a mechanical issue further back, as that's Trey Sanders in the number 3 cart with issues.
Yeah, getting out of the cart, so something happened there. I didn't catch it, but rolling that off the track to get that yellow off. But was that cart 63?
It was. I don't think that's Sanders, actually. Excuse me. That's Joseph Adige. I'm sorry.
There's a good, cart spun in 15.
Yep.
Or 14.
First time by the stripe, it's Medeiros over Brody after Ionix Capitan Garduno. Then it's Mario Nario, Brody Stoffel, and Aiden Go. Brody Stoffel and Medeiros having an absolutely brilliant duel here to get us started in Texas.
Yeah, that was. I really wish you guys would have been able to see that one. That's like that. Oh, yeah, it's the greatest race I've ever seen in my life. Sorry you missed it.
But already we're getting a new duel for the front here as it's round 2 for Alvaro Medeiros against a new competitor. This time it's Mason Brody in that 7. Hard to miss out on him with those lime green, kind of Lando Norris-esque gloves. Love it.
That's great. Yeah, love that.
Flashy. Can see the gloves from space. It makes it also way easier for us in the booth to know who's in the certain car. So 2-car breakaway right now. Battle for 4th and 3rd heating up as well as Garduno is under fire from Nario. He gets that position by through turn number 1.
Yeah, as we wait for the timing score to kind of update here, kind of quiet so far. Not a lot of action like we saw the first. I mean, you guys really missed the one. That first action was fantastic.
We're not making this up, by the way, even though we've totally got this ability to tell you guys, like, cars were doing flips and stuff since y'all didn't see it. But no, it was
genuinely
genuinely
crossovers.
We had crossovers.
Fireworks are going off.
4-wide finish.
No, it was a great race. But, again, these kids put the greatest races on that I've ever seen. So clean, just respectful, and just great battle. So see what we can happen here if Medeiros and Brody can do anything, if they're going to work together to kind of create a larger gap over Nario and Garduno. But Brody Stoffel had a great run that first heat, and see what he can do.
Fastest guy on track so far in that first full lap, it's Brody Stoffel, who again was the second one in that big duel. So already some massive pace from the early contender here. Dutch Westbrook with a move over Zev Goldschok works his way up into 6th. But still Medeiros versus Brody. Now Mario Nario, the fastest man on track. Battle for 5th further on here. A little bit of a look to the inside, maybe from Brody Stoffel, as he has very much worked himself into a seat at the table here. So what can he do to cut his way potentially back to the front of the field?
Yeah, top 5. I mean, it's pretty close. And you got that gap to Westbrook. But, you know, we've seen this many a times before. That, there's a rental cart track that's next to us, and I think a cart's going backwards on it.
Oh, boy.
Sorry. Yeah.
We're not going to – this is the one time where I would say we're not going to cut away to this because this racing is insane right now.
Yes. Oh, good
some big
push right there.
Big push from Brody as all 3 are dominoed into one another. It's Medeiros, Brody, and Nario. A little bit of eagerness there from Nario to get a move around Mason Brody, but he doesn't flinch at all. 4-car freight train down the line. Everybody ducking, trying to maximize pace. Here comes Mason Brody to the inside.
Yep, and took Nario with him too, so that's good. Medeiros went back to 3, I believe. There's Brian Robson.
There
One of
we
our
go.
tech guys. Our tech guys don't have much to do right now, so they're sitting here watching this great battle.
Massive moves there from Mason Brody. Got himself by Alvaro Medeiros. You always kind of see that sidestep almost from the carts going into turn 6 as they kind of
Good
pitch
move
their
going
way
into
up. Here
12
comes
right
Medeiros,
here.
gets himself back to the front. Back and forth we go here in Heat 2.
14 into 15, going down to the stripe and see what happens here. See a lot of jostling going on back there, so let's see how
Further
everybody
back,
shakes out here.
You've got
So-
Stoffel now who cleared him. Or excuse me, Medeiros got by Garduno. And Stoffel's already worked his way up into 3rd. He's gotten to the back bumper of Mason Brody.
Yeah, he's got a fast little car there.
And here he goes again. Another look to the inside from Brody. 3 wide here going into turn number 6. Who's going to be boldest on the
Stoffel
anchors?
takes it. From 3rd to 1st. What a great move right there. Is he going to be able to hold that on? Yes, he is. And I believe that is that Brody sitting in 2nd still? And then you've got Nario in 3rd.
2 cars, 1 corner, and it is a nuclear move from Brody Stoffel to work the 29 to the front of the field, cutting through like butter. Brody now thrown to the wolves. He's got fire from, I believe that's Mario Nario further back, but a 3-car battle. This will rage on here as we've got 2.5 minutes left. I wish we were doing this for another 3 hours, Jason.
Yeah, it's fantastic racing. I could do this all day long. Exciting, great to watch. We'll see what happens. Let's see if they're going to go down, see if Stoffel back to the lead, if he's going to be a little defensive here, if he's just going to let that cart go.
Mason Brody's popped out a lot here to get a move to the inside. Let's see if there's a reaction here. Maybe a late move. Actually, Mario
Big
Nario going
turn.
wide there.
Trying to carry that momentum through 6 into 7, just to try to close that gap a little bit on Brody. It looks like he did, and that was not a bad little move right there. But we talked about earlier about getting that arrow push. You might want to get some little, and I know people think I'm crazy, but it's absolutely truth. Like, these carts do have arrow. So, looking to try to get a little bit more downforce on the front of that cart through the air and get that thing to stick. So
I think it's also important to mention, we've got curbs on this track, and if you've done indoor karting before, that's not usually something you're used to experiencing. How much does that upset the car? Mario was obviously having no issue with the wide entrance there, but is that something that kind of upsets the car?
not so much on this curbing. This curbing is class. I mean, it's some of the nicest curbing I've seen. The only thing is it might lose a little grip on it because it's not quite asphalt. So we got a Nario pass there on Brody. Did he make it stick? Yes,
Uses the other side of the track now to get it done.
Yep. Now let's see if he's got his eyes set on Stoffel here and see if he can catch up.
Oh, big car mowing the grass further back. Almost took out one of our officials there in turn 6. As I believe they managed to get it going.
That was a cart 19.
I want to say that was Max Santana and I believe a couple others. A 3-car incident.
We have 3 to go after this. As we go, we got a battle there at 3rd, 4th, and 5th, looks like, or 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Major freight train further back there. Garduno, Westbrook, Gottschalk, and others involved. Mario Nario with the fastest lap now as he's trying to get by Brody Stoffel. 10 seconds left on the clock. We're going to go around 2 more times.
Yeah, Nario is all over the back of Stoffel here, but just being smart. He likes that wide line going through there. I think he just feels like it maybe cart can rotate a little bit better.
Right.
But we'll see what happens here as they go through 9. And I'm curious to see if Nario is going to make a move on going into 12, that little kink. It seems to be more passing there than I thought I was going to see.
I think than all of us were expecting, but there's so much of a run you can actually get there from that exit
and
out of 11 to make
right
it happen.
here,
Here's an opportunity.
Just being smart. He knows there's 2 laps to go. Like, he's coming up on 2. So just sit there and bite. I can guarantee it. That's not going to be where he's going to be with 1 lap to go or 2 laps to go. He's just pushing them.
Already a luncher.
Maturity, man. Unbelievable. Love to see it.
I think it's also knowing that you want to pass, but also not give that guy an opportunity to swing back. So we could maybe see him biding his time later than we see here. Stoffel defending to the inside, trying to break the draft. No reaction. from Stoffel. That's telling me a lot about how Nario wants to approach this.
Yeah, another thing I'm seeing here also is like with, we're sitting back with Madera sitting at 6th. This is allowing Nario to really kind of close that gap on the championship on Medeiros. Like Medeiros only had a 60-point lead.
Right. So already a major reshuffle here in the micro standings, as it is any kid's game here in the major scale and in the minor scale here, as we're watching Stoffel still trying to hold off Nario. White flag in the air. Where are we going to see a move here? Very, very close, but so too is the battle further back between AX Capitan Garduno, Dutch Westbrook, Alvaro Mierdos, and others. Here they are further
Defensive
back.
Move right there by first time we've seen it, just looking over, and we'll see if get it around the outside, as I like to say it.
Yeah.
But didn't make it stick with the last lap to go. So looks like Stoffel is going to take the victory here, unless something happens going into this final sector of the track.
Running out of time here for Mario Nario. What can he do? Tries the over-under. Big chuck to the inside. Tried the late apex. If he's got the run, he could maybe do it here through 11. He's going to have to try to the outside. Bumper to bumper. Almost pushes him to the outside of the track through turn 11.
Oh,
drag race to the line here. Who's got more ponies? Side by side for the win. I can't call it.
Stoffel got it by
Oh my goodness.
photo finish. Photo finish.
Folks, we've got a dead heat. Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me?
No, that is insane. Stoffel came down and pinched that corner and killed his momentum trying to be defensive, and Nario just let that thing roll through.
Oh my goodness.
Woo!
Stoffel got bogged down on the exit, and Mario Nario had the opportunity to get it late, run that inside line through turn 15. But oh my goodness. I don't know if we've got a camera at the stripe. This is going to be a hard one for us to call.
That was crazy.
My timer is telling me, our data is telling us it's still Stoffel over Nario. But I don't know, man. That was close. Stoffel wins over Mario Nario provisionally. We'll keep you updated.
Not
if
a
that
disappointing
changes.
race again.
No. We told you guys.
Yep. Absolutely. That was
8 up
fantastic.
427 in chat. Chat, someone clip that. I'd appreciate that if you guys clip that. Is there clipping on YouTube? We got to get Rock Cup on Twitch, man. We get mad viewers.
Twitch?
Yeah. We're still live here as we're getting set.
Yeah, getting set for the ROK Junior, the GP race here, which we had Doan win the last one. Eric Doan won with Sarah Bradley finishing second, Eli Steinberg third, Medeiros fourth, Vancha fifth, Murphy sixth, Shermer seventh, Benito eighth, Landry ninth, and Sarah Val finishing the top 10. So good run for Sarah Bradley again there. I don't think that she had the best qualifying round. I think she qualified fourth or fifth. I'm not saying that wasn't good, but good run for her. She played, watched it, did a really good race, smart race.
Yes.
Didn't get herself in trouble, didn't really do a lot of protecting, took advantage of passes when they came. But Eric Doan basically led lap to lap, or led start to finish.
Yeah.
So we'll see what's going on here.
So getting set here.
I always love the helmets.
243, great.
The livery, that's a great shot of the helmets. Dash Motorsports right there. Like, it's fantastic. And again, we like to thank PSL for sponsoring our next ROK Junior GP class here. Thank you guys so much for all your support as we're sitting here waiting to go.
I knew it was fucking hard. But
We are.
Were you
Dodge.
running plain helmets growing up, or did you get fancy with it?
My dad refused to pay for helmet paint jobs. But
Yeah.
when I was old enough to pay for my own helmet paint jobs, then I started getting my helmets painted. So
Do you have any like certain inspiration or what kind of look you were going for?
I like bright colors in European style, like Euro style.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, so my stuff's kind of nice, clean lines, and yeah. Actually, my cousin painted my last helmet and did an amazing job. So, love it. But, it's just weird. You just, after a while, you just throw it in your seat and it gets all dinged up.
Yeah.
You're like, that's an expensive paint job I'm just ruining.
It's like your baby and you don't want to ruin it, right?
Yeah, and what's crazy now is, I don't know if you've seen it, but the vinyl wrapping on these helmets are getting insane, and they're not that expensive, and you can just rip it off, and next year you put a whole new color scheme or another package on it. So
yep. Still trying to get an update here, and I think I can say I really can't say in confidence that it was
Stoffel won it over Nario. I think. But it just also depends exactly where the transponder's at.
Oh my God! Literally down to the macrometer.
Yeah. All right, we're just giving them 1 minute to go here, as you can see on the screen. Let's see if Doan can repeat here.
So again, we wish we could give you guys the more updated standings here with Heat 1 in the books, but still plenty of points to play for here, as the result of this second heat, or both of these heats, shall I say, is what's going to set the grid for the pre-final.
Yes, absolutely. And, we'll see the back half of Heat 2 tomorrow morning, and then we'll work our way into the rest of the heats, and then the pre-finals, and then, fantastic Sunday.
Yep.
Whatever we want to call it.
Still plenty at play here for the second round of heats tomorrow. Masters, both senior pros and VLRs. As we've got the pro seniors coming up next to cap off our Friday, but VLR seniors, minis, and masters will start us off tomorrow for the second rounds of heats. But getting set here for ROK juniors, second heat here. Want to thank all 100 of you for sticking with us here on this Friday, wherever you may be watching us, as we take the Florida Winter Tour outside of the Sunshine State. Thank you. There we go. For the first time in Rock Cup history, here at beautiful Speed Sports Racing Park in New Caney, Texas. Just 20-minute drive away from Houston, getting set here for heat number 2. A couple of guys out of line here as they're
getting in
sorting
their
it out.
lines right there. There we go. So we've got the 243 and a 227.
Underway clean start there from the outside there.
243, that's Doan.
That's Eric Doan.
Yeah. Not playing around. I like that lead. I like that clean air. I'm going to get this again and go. So we'll see what happens here. And I believe that's Medeiros behind.
A little bit of drama further behind. I think that was Christopher Tracy and Facundo Hernandez, I think, that had issues further back. But it is Doan over Steinberg, then Bradley.
Steinberg. Okay. Yeah, like I said, we've got some newer numbers up here that I'm not familiar with. So, but they're making an impact on this Florida Winter Tour.
Cole Medeiros on the move side by side there. That was Tristan Murphy looking for a way around. I believe that's Alexander Vanchev. Couldn't get it done, though. So it's Steinberg, Doan, Bradley, Medeiros, Vanchev, Murphy, Shermer, Kotowski, Dupuis, and Saravale rounding out your top 10. Moves for the lead early on here, as it's Doan to the outside of Steinberg. Can't get it done, though. Gets the over-under here, as we are swapping inside-outside lines constantly. Now the inside here for the 43 of Doan. Finally gets it done. A little bit of a wiggle there from Eli Steinberg and gives that position up. Here comes Sarah Bradley, though, to get by.
As we get themselves filed in here, and just a big dive by Sarah right there. Almost made that stick.
Yes.
Is she going to get a little help there from behind with the push? We'll see what happens with that. Going to take advantage of the late move by Sarah. Not quite. Sarah stays where she's at. But she definitely has that width rolling right now. We'll see if she can continue to that pace and get around.
Still under
Eric
fire.
Doan, late move right here, late break attempt.
Bradley going for it.
And she pick it up. Yeah, she got it for second. Good.
That's Vanchev trying to go through one car. It's absolutely washed up there. I want to say that was Katowski or Vanchev.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Katowski got wiped out up there or not, but we'll see as they come across.
So Doan still under pressure here, just half a second separating him and Steinberg. Bradley with some big moves, though.
Yeah, Sarah wants that trip. She wants that trip to Italy.
Yep.
She was the Redford F4 scholarship winner last year, so why not win something else?
Exactly. So Bradley advances here up into second. Steinberg drops to third. Vanchev is the one that did advance there. It was Tristan Murphy that got washed out big time. Got kind of side pod checked a little bit into the sand there and dropped back into sixth, where he's battling right now with Cole Medeiros. So now the question is, what can Eli Steinberg do to get back on Sarah Bradley? And is anyone going to be able to bring the battle here to Eric Doan?
That's a great question. Eric's definitely got a cart that's dialed in and not running with the Florida Winter Tour much, but Brody Stoffel did win the micro race.
Right.
Okay,
awesome.
officially.
Okay,
Yeah,
officially. I don't know. I'd love to see if we've got an official gap there or how we decided that. Well, we might have more info for you later on, but it was Stoffel and that absolute blockbuster finish.
Yeah, you can see Sarah just digging down there like, what am I going to do to catch Doan? And about to be careful there because Steinberg is right there behind her, so she can't make any mistakes at all because he is right there ready to make a move.
Getting to a critical point here. Heat 2 having a little bit of extra weight on it. Not only does it, give you more of it helps set up more championship points, but it helps set up where you're going to start in the pre-final. So you've got to find that proper balance of, chaos and consistency, knowing when to attack and when to play it safe, and knowing the balance between risk and reward. But Bradley clearly driving right now like she wants that second place spot, as she's right on the bumper now. Or excuse me, Eli Steinberg, right on the back of Bradley.
Yep. Yeah, Doan still has this pretty much under control. We'll see what happens. Everyone's pretty filed in place right now, just buying their time with just a little over 5 minutes to go, plus those 2 laps. As we go to the pre-finals tomorrow, our races get longer, and then it plays into strategy too.
Right.
Like how do you adjust your tires? Our tire pressures physically, a little bit longer. I'm not sure. I'm going to go down and talk to some of the drivers and ask them what how physical this track is. It looks somewhat physical, but
first sector for sure feels like
it. But it's definitely flowy, which definitely helps. So if I say definitely one more time, smack me, please. Thanks,
Brandon wasting no time there.
Look at who's purple right now.
Oh, Alexander Varg? Yeah.
Vanchev is purple.
From nowhere here in fourth, trying to get to this 2-car battle here between Bradley and Steinberg. He's for sure in the picture, but he's towing a big freight train of his own. Katowski, Medeiros, Murphy, Dupois, and others. And Eric Doan, by the way, is still using this to sail. We first mentioned this about 2 laps ago, was about half a second. That's grown now to 8/10. So Eric Doan absolutely taking advantage of this battle to get his head down and kind of build a gap on Bradley and company.
Yeah, and if you're a points follower here, so Sarah ended up finishing in front of Cole Medeiros in the first race. So now she's ahead of Cole right now. So that margin of 80 points that Cole Medeiros has is now probably gotten, as of right now, down to probably 60 to 50 points.
Right.
So getting a lot tighter right there for that trip to Italy.
Biggest move of the race so far, Noah Landry in the 213 cart, working his way up into 11th. That's 4 positions gained. Doan gaining up 1 position after winning the whole shot into turn 1. Sarah Bradley up by 2 positions. But Cole Medeiros down by 3. Started in 3rd, is now running in 6th. As we are watching this battle start to heat up with just under 4 minutes on the clock between Sarah Bradley and Eli Steinberg. As this is kind of becoming a 5-car freight train here, Jason.
Soon to be. I mean, they're all kind of gapped out. What are the times looking like over there? Oh, look at that. So close.
Insanely
18, 53-18, 53-19, 53-11. Alexander backed his purple lap up with another purple lap. And look right behind it, Katowski with the 53-11. I mean, that's just, the parity is unbelievable.
Everybody kind of, again, it's not even freight training because the times aren't gaining on one another, but everyone's
just gapped.
in lockstep.
Yep. Just waiting for somebody to make a mistake to be able to get back on their bumper and then make that pass, but they're just not making any mistakes. Little look over the shoulder there by Sarah, just to kind of see where Eli's at. See if Sarah closed a little bit here on Doan or not. Yep, a little bit. I mean, 400s.
Yep.
They're just so close
there
in
is
lap
a game,
time.
but no, it's. I love how Townsend Bell describes top-level driving as World Cup soccer, where it's the overtakes and a change in lead is so rare, and it's not so much who's better, but who capitalizes the most on that little mistake.
Yep. And that's what we're going to see here. The only way that this is going to change right now is somebody to make a mistake, because there's nobody in enough range to be able to make a late break move and have to need to defend anywhere.
Right.
So as we're coming into 12 and 13, looks like we got, what is that? Is that Vanchev and Katowski tightening up a little bit?
It is. Vanchev under fire right now from Katowski, and that's Cole Medeiros a little bit further behind there.
Yeah.
In the 207.
Katowski closed up quite a bit that last lap. What do we do here? But Vanchev, what? No, I don't think you're updating.
He's updating, yeah.
That's updating. He ran back-to-back 53-11s.
Yeah. And Katowski is exactly there as well.
Oh,
as we're watching that.
Is that Katowski on Vanchev?
I believe it is, yes.
Yeah, yep.
Katowski throwing the shoulder.
Who's that behind Katowski? That Medeiros.
That is
right
Medeiros
there.
goes through the 207.
And Medeiros goes from 6th to 5th or 4th, right? Yeah. Took over from Vanchev.
That's exactly what we're talking about patience, right? Letting those two battle and then waiting for the right time to strike. So a nuclear move there from the 207 of Medeiros makes it 2 cars in just a handful of corners, but this battle is far from over.
Oh, yeah. It's not even close with 3 laps to go. Yeah, and that just makes Sarah feel happy. Well, actually,
but she's
Steinberg
closing
right
that gap as well.
Yeah, she is closing the gap on Doan. A big defensive move right there.
Quick flick to the middle there.
Yeah, by Medeiros, but we'll see if that allows Vanchev and
to the inside.
Murphy to close up. And
clears Murphy, and now I believe that's Dupuis going through in the 241. Big reshuffles here in the middle of the top 10.
Oh,
2 more laps to go. A little bit of a kick of dust there. I want to say that was
off track. It was one of the top 5 cars. Wasn't sure who it was.
I want to say it was Vanchev, but that was Katowski actually that lost 2 positions there.
So here we got a little battle with Bradley. Must have made a little bit of a mistake because Steinberg is right all over her in that 227. Going to try to outbrake her, and he has it.
Gets it done. Might be an opportunity for an over-under, but he closes the door. And it's a done deal for Eli Steinberg, who advances into 2nd over Sarah Bradley. A clean move there, almost had it completely wrapped up before the end of the before the entrance.
Yeah, and we'll see if she can do something to get back on that bumper to get her position back with just 2 laps to go. But she was closing in on Doan. Now Doan's checked out to over a 2nd lap, or a 2nd lead. So I think he's got this pretty much in the bag. So see where the battle happens throughout the back. There, that tight battle with Vanchev and Murphy at 5th and 6th as well, with Medeiros just slightly in front of them with about a half a car to a cart length lead.
White flag is out. Can Eric Doan hold on to it in that blue, bright blue metallic cart? Can Eli Sternbeck hold off Sarah Bradley? And what does Cole Medeiros have to hold off Vanchev, Murphy, and Katowski? All of them freight training right now little bit of a look for Murphy, but no moves just yet here, working their way through turn 9.
Yeah, I think this is probably how it's going to end up right here. Madeira's got a good run off of 9 into 10 here. Going through that hairpin of 11 to 12. Finishing up at the checker here in a minute, or half a second there, and we'll be done with this heat race.
Eric Doan wins heat number 2 here for Junior FW for ROK GP Juniors.
Sponsored by Orsilon Racing. Thank you, Orsilon, again.
Yes.
No, this is PSL.
Eli Steinberg finishes second. Sarah Bradley in third. Quick pass at the line there in 11th as Felipe J. Benito gets by Noah Landry. And that is...
There we go.
And that leaves us with one more heat here on Fast Friday.
ROK Pro Senior, sponsored by Velocity Soda Cart.
Jason, I think we need to. I think we got to pay the bills.
You think you got to pay the bills?
I think we got to pay the bills.
You know,
We'll
if
be
you
right
says
back.
pay the
We'll be
bills,
right
he's
back.
got to go to the bathroom. Just to let you know. Just kidding.
27 years ago, Bill Wright began the Florida Winter Tour to break up the slow winter months for karters. And as the word spread, the tour grew. Importers, teams, manufacturers, and drivers alike all came to Florida to prepare for the upcoming season. One weekend became 2, and the fun became serious fun. Since then, the karting season has started with the Florida Winter Tour, where teams compete to establish dominance for the coming summer. Drivers from all over the world look to make their name and leave their mark on the national scene, much like Pato Award, Enzo Fittipaldi, and others have done in Florida Winter Tours of the past. The original Florida Winter Tour, the series that made karting a year-round sport in North America and where tomorrow's superstar drivers are discovered. 27 years later, you can still go karting and have some serious fun. Are you ready to join the action?
You're watching a Jason Larea creative ROK Cup USA production.
As they enter into the acceleration zone, green flag flies. We are racing. Big slide farther back in the pack. Couple of micros going a little bit slideways, but they're going to hold it together. Pressure from Luca Besseril. Besseril, look outside for speed. Now down into turn 4. Got it. This position going to go to the inside of turn 1. Got it. The lead of it. Whoa, cross back, crossover.
I don't think battling each other is the way to go right here.
Oh, almost a little bit of a swiggle there for Trusho in that purple car. Here comes Delbon to the line. Look at him, he's so excited.
Oh, hey, yeah, we're back. Last race of the day. So we're all looking at each other like, we're back. All right, so your last and final heat race of the day is our ROK Pro Senior, sponsored by Sodi Velocity Racing. Really, let's see if Nash has anything for Norberg here. Like, Norberg pretty much just kind of checked out, and, you know, we'll see if Blake maybe went back to the tent and looked up some stuff and see if he can do anything with Ryan. But we'll see here in a couple minutes as they're rolling out currently.
Again, a light grid here.
Yes.
For the ROK Pro Seniors, but dominant run by Nash. Or excuse me, Ryan Norberg.
Yes.
So what can Blake Nash do in response?
We'll find out if he did anything. So,
yeah.
But, you know, as we look at the points, where did Diego end up that last?
Diego was on our list of
Oh, he
guys
did not
who-
show. That's right. He
who
was on
enrolled,
the
but
yeah,
then did not ultimately
that's
show
correct.
up.
Yep.
So
yeah,
7-car grid.
So Blake's pretty much got the championship. One, yeah, especially finishing second. That I can't see mathematically anybody else having
Right.
a chance at getting the championship. All right, little warm up there.
How quick does it take to really get these tires warmed up?
These Levantos, not
Yeah.
much. I mean, you're probably 3/4 of the lap.
Really?
Yeah.
Of course, the weather here is certainly helping us get those
Track's
up to temp
gripped up.
quick.
Yeah, I mean it's yeah, and these guys know what they're doing. It's no different. They do it every weekend pretty much,
Right.
just on different tires. But it's they love these Levantos. Like when I talk to them, they absolutely love the grip and the consistency and the rubber that these tires lay down.
Closing time here at Speed Sports Racing Park. GP Pro Heat 2 underway.
Good push there behind. Who's that behind Norberg? Blake Nash way high there. Who's
Yeah.
off track
Oh!
right there?
Moves the grass going into turn 8.
Not sure who that was. But Nash did not get a good start there, and that's not what he needed to be able to try to do anything to catch up to Norberg.
Want to say in Greta there, held on. Bit of a look to the inside there. That's Oliver Marak trying to get to the inside. Big dive there.
There's
Gets
Nash.
it done. Parks it on the exit there. Keeps a swing back out of contention. Excuse me, that's the 24 of Blake Nash, who's already making big moves there in that blue cart. So it's Ryan Norberg already taken off. Big moves, though, from Victor de Alencar, who gets up 3 positions on that opening lap.
Yeah, he got a great start if you watch it. He just kind of tucked in behind Norberg and just followed him through. So smart move by him. Let's see if he can do anything to be able to stay up there with him and maybe give Ryan someone to race with.
Right, the real question is, what does anybody in this field have for Ryan Norberg? Victor de Alencar is obviously riding high off of that opening hole shot. Blake Nash
Closing in
moving
fast.
big. Yep. Looking for real estate here in the run into the final
Nash
hairpin.
may
Gets
have
the bumper
something for Norberg.
from the top rope and gets it done. Blake Nash to second. And with a head full of steam, he sets his sights on Ryan Norberg.
And the fastest lap of the race so far. Only
So
have
far.
a couple of them in, so we'll see. We'll see if he's got something here for him.
That's driving to me like an aggression, like knowing you have the pace to bring it to the front.
Yeah, that definitely is. And he knows that he has to get around the slower guys, so Ryan doesn't have any more advantage than he already has.
But you're already seeing Victor de Alencar not really giving this fight up, as just now Blake Nash starts to separate himself between second and third.
Yeah, this is where he got that run on de Alencar for that pass, just a monster launch.
Might see another one further back here as Aiden and Greta looks for a move around. Victor de Alencar looks to the inside.
Yeah, it looks like the Alencar does not get through that section very well at all. Over twice now that he seems to lose a lot of ground to the remainder of this competition. So
Opportunity for a swing back here for de Alencar, heading into the sweepers 4 and 5.
and Nash went purple again, so trying to respond.
Last lap's 52.10 for Norberg, 52.02 for Nash. If that can hold, then this gap could close quicker than we thought.
Well, what's going to be interesting to see is we get to the pre-final tomorrow, they're going to be starting side by side.
Right.
So he doesn't have to work his way up through a couple carts and get hung up, and allows Norberg to kind of check out a little bit. He's going to have a little bit more of an advantage to be able to just tuck in with him or get a great jump and take the lead.
Obviously, asked a lot from the cart to clear these guys, to clear Greta into Alencar. Is that taking enough of a chunk away in making those passes that maybe the tires don't have enough left to close that final
I
gap?
don't know about the tire. It was early enough in the run to get around him. I just think that he's got good pace to match Norberg. I don't think he has enough pace to overtake him. So,
Right.
all right, we're going to go to the 5th and 6th carts right here, which
Oliver
is
Brack, Manju.
Yep, Brack and you.
Exactly where they started, by the way, in 5th and 6th, excuse me. Max started 4th, Mingmanju holding on to their spot of 6th. Has seen guys buddied up a little bit more than we saw in heat number 1. A little bit of a mistake there.
Looks like Nash is closing in a little bit on Norberg.
Last laps, 51.87 from Norberg, 51.81 from Blake Nash. Both of these guys south of 52 lap times. They are both turning it up. I think we saw maybe a warning there from Blake Nash of him turning the wick up, and Ryan Norberg instantly returned fire.
Yeah, I know it looks like, 1.17 seconds, but I'm looking at physically on track here, and the net gap looks like it's closing.
Further back, by the way, Aiden and Greta and Victor de Alencar have not broken apart at all, but I think there's a little bit of a game of patience, not necessarily teamwork between the two, but I think there's a study session that both drivers are having on each other right now, where one needs to defend, where the other can attack. There's a little bit of a wiggle there from Greta going into turn 14, and that'll give the opportunity for a run here.
Looks like there's a little dip right there at 12. If you look at it, and I think he got in that dip and he got up on that curb a little bit, and that's what caused the car to get a little unsettled. But yeah, Ryan is just barely gapping a little bit.
51.83 for Norberg, 51.97 for Nash. So pace goes back to Norberg's way, and that gap starts to widen once again.
It's like a heavyweight battle here, though. It's like one lap Nash will throw the lap down, and then Norberg will match it. So. Kid just walking around with his race helmet on and some gloves.
Look, man,
I bet you that's his big brother's. He even has his neck protector on.
I would absolutely do that. Feel like the coolest kid on the block.
Yeah. All right, where are we at here?
4 minutes to go. Blake Nash once again putting the fastest lap down. 51.93 for Norberg, 51.8 for Nash.
So right back to where are we at? Probably 1 second. 1.18. Yep, 1.18. But this is good. Like, no one had anything from Norberg that first race.
Right.
That first heat race. Now, Nash obviously made the changes he needed to make because he's right there on pace, if not faster than Norberg.
Starting to watch that momentum shift here to the other side of the field. We're watching Mingmanju try to work their way around Oliver Marak in the 399.
Looks like the Allen car is up on Ingrata's bumper. Looks like he's about ready to make a little move right there, going through the hairpin of turn 11.
Not seeing too much of a difference in the line between these two, other than maybe a little bit more confidence from the Alencar on the brakes. But Ingrata able to get on the gas and get that exit so much better.
They're pretty quiet right now. The closest battle we do have is for 3rd and 4th.
Yep.
3rd right there.
Lap number 7, Ryan Norberg, 51.82. Blake Nash, 51.78. So the gap is, it is in fact decreasing, but at a microscopic level almost.
Yeah.
On the plus side, still on-track action here between Aiden and Greta, Victor de Alencar. Again, Ingrata starting 2nd here. And Victor de Alencar trying to work their way forward. Started in 5th, currently running in 4th. Lap number 8, 51.79 from Ryan Norberg, 51.83 from Blake Nash.
They are so equally matched. I can't wait to watch.
Oh, it's going to be beautiful.
A fun battle. Yeah.
Because again, as you mentioned, you take away that extra homework that Nash needed to do to even make that battle a conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it wasn't a conversation after Heat 1.
No. So now you got to ask, what lessons are these two learning from each other? Obviously, the answer would be more if they were a little bit closer, but they're very, very close on pace. I'm sure there's got to be some data analysis after this of where's he gaining time compared to us? How are our driving styles different? Where are we the same?
Yeah, I'm just watching Nash kind of go through, and Nash does run a little bit different line than Norberg in a lot of these corners. Just like a half a cart higher, half a cart lower. Letting the cart swing out a little bit more just to kind of carry the momentum. So we'll see if maybe Norberg's just playing conservative, just not letting the cart float like it needs to float right now. Why risk going off track? but Nash really closed in that last lap.
Lap number 9, 51.82 from your leader, Ryan Norberg. Another purple lap from Blake Nash does a 51.72 for a 1.08 second gap. Aiden and Greta and Dalenkar still going on behind the scenes, but this gap is slowly but surely closing between Norberg and Nash.
I think he's within a second right now.
He's got to be.
I mean, physically it looks like it on track, so.
Here we go, lap number 10. Norberg
Stay at
and Nash still
108?
in lap-
Did they match lap times?
I think the Delta didn't match. No, I'm thinking we're not getting a proper data update on our side. There it is, 51.69 from Blake Nash, 51.78, and it just peaks under with a handful of seconds to go.
Yeah, so we'll get 2 to go here at the line, and that's got to give Nash some confidence going into tomorrow.
Yep. Battle heating up further back once again here between Aiden and Greta and Victor de Alenkar. But we've got 3 more laps to sort this out, see if there's anything Blake Nash can do to even get to the bumper. That gap is certainly closing between those two. A little bit of a mistake from Ryan Norberg as we've got 2 laps to go here in the final heat on Friday. It's another best lap for Blake Nash. He does a 51.69. Ryan Norberg responds with a 51.79. Gap is .082 between our 2 leaders.
Yeah, he seems like he's just getting in way deeper and out of turn 5. A lot better than what Norberg is getting through, and that's where he really is kind of closing his gap on him.
White flag next time by. How much of this is being able to see the guy in front of you and maybe actively figure out where you're able to make up time?
A lot of it right now. I guarantee that's what Nash is like looking at. Like, where is he slower than me? Like, where is he faster than I am? Where can I make a pass on him? Yeah, definitely learning some stuff right now from him. So that's great.
Final lap of Friday here in the Florida Winter Tour, round 3 from Speed Sports Racing Park. 51.75 from Blake Nash, 51.81 from Ryan Norberg. I don't think it's going to be close enough, but we've still got a battle for 3rd and 4th. Aiden and Greta, Victor de Alenkar. Are we going to see any moves here on the final lap? Not enough. A little bit of sand kicked up there from the blue card of Blake Nash, the 324. And it's going to take a Hail Mary move. I don't think it's going to be enough here, Jason.
No reason to even chance it. But, you know, he flexed his muscles today, and that's good.
A battle absolutely to be continued. ROK GP Pro Heat 2 won once again by Ryan Norberg, but in lockstep is Blake Nash. And at the line here, Aiden and Greta just holds off Victor de Alenkar.
All right, finishing up. This is your first day, Jackson. What'd you think?
I mean, it's weird when you start working for a new series, a completely new kind of racing altogether, but I mean, we were given absolute banger after banger in forms of so many different stories, so many different storylines we have in all 7 different classes we have this weekend. Just excited to keep going again tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're going to look for some better racing tomorrow. Continued great racing, and looking forward to it. So as we said, it's finishing round 2 of heats tomorrow into the pre-finals and then finals on Sunday.
Huge thank you to all of you watching us on YouTube. Again, round 2, rest of the finals, rest of the heats here, and then the pre-finals up next tomorrow here from New Caney, Texas at Speed Sports Racing Parks. For our producer and for all of us here at ROK Cup, I'm Jackson Lambros. We will see you tomorrow. Stay with us.
You're watching a Jason Larea creative ROK Cup USA production.